Bolt your windows. Lock your doors. Check your closets. Look under your bed. And then prepare yourself. For it's another episode of Dark Night of the Podcast. Whoa!
You know, Troy, I just got to say, leading into this episode of Dark Night of the Podcast, that my God, my stomach, my abs are killing me. And, you know, it's simply because last night's guest host, Kris Jenner, not to be confused with Kris Jenner, had me laughing the whole fucking time. What a doll. I always forget how funny that fucker is.
Because he wasn't really that funny when we were filming Teacher Shortage.
he was so quiet, like a lamb to himself.
Yeah.
But God, he creeps up on you.
I was completely surprised and pleasantly surprised by his contribution to Sleepaway Camp.
Saying, I was so scared having a guest that we would like break our flow, but you know what? Complete opposite.
It did not. I've got some really great feedback. So
yeah,
people love it.
Yeah, and we're having him back for sure. That is going to be something I got to say right now. We're going to bring him back. We're going to review one of these days. We're hoping to review Sorority Row, the remake. But until that's on the table right now, we have a different guest. We have somebody coming from a whole other area of the podcasting world. We have another podcaster who focuses on the topic of pop culture. It's the Pop Culture Persephone, and if you're not familiar with her, please get hip, get to know her. She's an absolute doll. I say she's an honorary gay man in a woman's body, and she's a riot. We have her here today. Pop Culture Persephone, are you there?
I am here, Roger and Troy. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, God, we're laughing it up.
We're great. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to come on and discuss what we are going to be discussing.
I'm thrilled. I'm, following up that Kris, I'm going to call him Kris Jenner. Kris Jenner, I also was in stitches. That boy had me in stitches, and quite a vocalist, by the way. Like that song. But
oh yeah.
So I'm very happy to be the second Dark Night of the Podcast guest. It's fun to be in the other role. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, for individuals who may not be familiar with your podcast, which I have been a guest on, and thank you for that, including me on some of our wonderful conversations. Give some of our listeners a brief fill them in. Let them know what you do and what it's about.
Well, we all know there's a zillion pop culture related podcasts out there. So I'm not reinventing the wheel here, people, but you do get my sense of humor. And I do I'm looking at pop culture through a lot of different intersecting lanes, a lot of times through a female lens. Oftentimes I'll have queer guests on, queer and gay guests on. It'll be through a queer lens, a gay lens. Oftentimes it will be all women talking about a mostly dominated male movie. So I try to play with it a little bit so it's just not a gossip dump. And I also talk about things that are happening in the media that started off as perhaps a news story and morphed into true crime. So morphed into true crime and then morphed into pop culture eventually, because pop culture essentially touches everything. Last week I just released an episode on the Club Kid murder, like in the 90s, with Michael Alec, who was essentially the father of the Club Kids. And unfortunately, it's a horror movie in and of itself. The movie Party Monster was developed out of it. But Michael Alec had just overdosed on Christmas morning in this last year. So I had been wanting to revisit that story. But true crime alone, the intersection of true crime and pop culture is insane, especially when it comes to murders and what have you. So I kind of give the crowd a little bit of everything. I'm releasing an episode tomorrow. I release every Tuesday morning, and it's unfortunately all about the growing white male mediocrity that is Ben Affleck, and that we are going to have to revisit Bennifer 3.0. Nobody really wants to, but we're there, and I have to talk about it. But I have a lovely guest. I mean, someone's got to do the work.
It's true. We need to know. When it comes to this shit, we need to know. And as gays, we need to know. And you're bestowing your knowledge upon us. And, Troy is quite the fan of true crime. So you're hitting on a niche here that I think you're rubbing him the right way.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge true crime fan. I mean, I literally, the only thing, I don't even listen to music anymore. No, honestly, for like the last 3 years, I don't listen to music. I listen to true crime podcasts.
God. You're after my heart.
Right. Even when I'm working out, running, people are thinking I'm probably running to Britney Spears or Gaga. No, I'm listening to True Crime Garage, Sword and Scale. That gets me going. Yeah.
I was listening to Crimes of the Century today while I was lifting weights.
See, there you go.
Okay, I know we're about to segue into the review, but I'm so enamored with this conversation, this union of souls that Troy, throw out, it can be as obscure as possible. What is one of your favorite, I don't want to say favorite, that sounds horrible. People have died.
It's fine. You can say favorite.
What is your obsession, true crime? Like name one. I want to see if Theresa knows it. Because Theresa she knows everything true crime. And I want to see if you guys can connect on one true crime story.
Oh God, there's so many. One that really baffles me. It's actually a missing person case. It's not. I'm assuming he's dead, but it's the Brian Schaefer case. It was a college kid that went missing from a bar in Columbus, Ohio, back in 2007, maybe. He was out drinking. He was at a bar called the Ugly Tuna Saloon. And the surveillance video caught him going into the club, but you never see him leave. And he literally just vanished without a trace. And there's all these different theories. It kind of ties into the whole smiley face killer theory. So it's really baffling. And then one that I'm really fascinated with, probably the case that got me into true crime, is one everyone knows, but I just find it so fascinating. And that's JonBenet Ramsey. I mean, all the elements of that case, the ransom note, so yeah.
You're speaking to Theresa's heart.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a problem whenever I see anything new popping up with JonBenet Ramsey. It's like I'm going to be 45 minutes late. I'm sorry. Something's happened. There may be a shred of evidence. But yeah, I find I heard a bit about that Brian Schaefer case. That's so interesting you brought that up though. That is very interesting, that case.
He's just I picked that one, but he is just a one in a string of college age guys that have gone missing after drinking a night out at drinking in the Midwest. I think there's been over 90 young men who have gone missing from bars or parties just in like a span of like 10 years. And some of them are found weeks later in bodies of water. Some of them are never found. So yeah, it's kind of interesting.
I mean, I would say the one, and I'll make it a little bit local here in Cleveland. I'm not going to say Amy Mahalovic because that continues to be.
Oh, I know that one very well.
A fascinating case, and it's just so heartbreaking. But there's a little bit of a lesser known case out of Shaker Heights, and it was the Lisa Pruitt case. And it's a cold case to this day, where a girl, she got on her bike. She was a sophomore, and she was gonna kind of sneak into her boyfriend's house down the street. Somebody attacked her from the back and strangled her, stabbed her to death, and it really divided that town of Shaker Heights. There was a guilty kind of an attitude of this person is guilty because we don't like him. And well, this person, it was a very bizarre case that was covered a lot especially in Scene and the Plain Dealer and what have you. And it's a cold case today, and there's no answers. And the two big suspects, one lives kind of a very quiet life. I actually went to college with him at OU, the boyfriend, and the one that was the person that everyone thought had done it because he was kind of a bizarre kid, a little bit off. He had said a few things here and there, but there was absolutely no evidence. He ended up killing himself a few years ago. Oh. Do you like how I said that with an inflection up like it was good?
You're balancing it out.
Not good. Excuse me. Killing himself.
I've actually heard that case. One of my favorite podcasts, True Crime Garage. Those guys are from Ohio. They covered it.
Great.
Yeah, they covered it in like a 4-part series. It's called the Shaker Heights Murder. They do 4 episodes on it. So yeah, I was familiar with that. It is very fascinating. Lots of twists and turns.
Lots of twists and turns, and
just like the movie we're covering.
It's exactly like Tamara.
I was trying to think of a true crime way to transition.
I would say there's a lot of
apparently
truth.
That wasn't a very good.
You know what? There may not be truth to Tamara of the movie itself, but there are elements of this movie in the midst of it unfolding that I have to say give me a very strong feeling of good for you, girl. And to that there is truth. So I will say that Tamara, this is our pick for the week. No,
but not all of them. Not all of them. Good for you, girl.
No, not all. Some are horrible.
No,
some are really poor. A lot of the people in this movie make poor decisions. I'd say the majority of the people in Tamara make poor decisions. But for the listeners who may or may not be following this, the movie this week that we are reviewing, it's a 2005 film, and it is entitled Tamara. Straight to the point. And you know what, my reason, coming back to why I asked Theresa to come on this episode and why I picked this title, Theresa, the Pop Culture Persephone, has a lot of knowledge about all things pop culture. And this movie stars Jenna Dewan, formerly Tatum, the former wife of Channing Tatum. And for some reason, she keeps coming back up in our lives. Jenna Dewan. Theresa, what do you think about Jenna Dewan?
I think she's the ever-ready bunny. I think you can't knock her down, and that's what I like about her. Because let me tell you, that divorce, that separation that led to the divorce from Channing Tatum, her once best friend, her once business partner, rocked her more than people expected, especially after he decided to date her doppelganger, a British doppelganger, Jessie J, just an evil one. People, when you leave someone, do not then go and date someone that looks just like them. That is unacceptable.
It's offensive. Especially if Jessie fucking J, who we've got a bone to pick with her, but that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah. I mean, another thing about everyone knows that Jenna Dewan, her start really was as she was a backup dancer for Janet Jackson. Moved on to Pink, Christina Aguilera, but that training, she has a huge background in dance. She ended up doing the blockbuster Step Up with her boyfriend, then turned husband, Channing Tatum. And we know how everything else kind of fleshed out from there. But Jenna Dewan Tatum has turned out 2 of my favorite Lifetime movies, both based on true crime stories.
Full fucking circle.
The cheerleader one. What was that called?
That was the Fab Five, the Texas cheerleading story.
Yes, I love that.
And she played like a long-suffering. She was like the cheer advisor that was going by the rules, which you didn't do with the Fab Five, who were allowed to do whatever they wanted to do. So she was up against a lot of bullheaded young ladies in that one, but
and Tatum O'Neal.
And Tatum O'Neal looking kind of ragged, but in a great, sexy, still Tatum O'Neal way. And she still sounds like Tatum O'Neal. That's what I like about her.
I just remember the commercials for that were like an Oscar winner, Tatum O'Neal.
Tatum O'Neal.
Fab Five, the Texas cheerleader bitches or whatever it was.
Yeah, and Tatum O'Neal's character is the biggest enabler of them all. I'm like, why are we indulging these little bitches? They're horrible, horrible. But in 2013, she did a movie where she played a very bad girl. So I knew she had it in her. She had it in her from Tamara, called She Made Them Do It. And it was based on the Sarah Jo Pender case, but they took a lot of liberties with it. And it's really about a woman who's had like been brought up in a life of crime, con artist, will seduce anyone, will double cross anyone, man, woman, dog, cat, to get what she wants. And she's really great in these roles, actually. Like, I want her to play more villains. And
would you say that do you see early influences of Tamara that then later carried over into these performances?
Okay, she's got her sea legs on by the time she made them do it, as compared to Tamara. Tamara, we see a beginning actress who can dance well, although she doesn't really dance.
Her legs are
but we all know.
great. My God,
At any moment,
her legs.
I mean, the body's ridiculous. Those pins, I don't even know. But she definitely grows as an actress by the time we get to 2013. She Made Them Do It. Found on the Lifetime.
There's several references to Lifetime Movie Network in my notes as well. We're gonna come back to it. I feel there's a lot of full circles with this specific episode. We're going to touch on a lot of things. I do want to acknowledge real quick before we dive into the meat of the plot, because we do go pretty linear tree, and you're gonna have to carry us through this. You're gonna have to be on a lifeboat to get us down this through this.
Me?
I know you take.
Have you been? You have been on my podcast. You know the fucking tangents that happen.
Well, you're gonna have
Good luck. I'll try. I'm drinking whiskey, and I may have had something else also with this whiskey. So
you know what? For Tamara, you need it. You need it. Okay, it's a loaded gun. Okay, so this movie is directed by Jeremy Haft. He is known for the movie Grizzly Mountain. Not sure if either of you have seen it, but other than that, there is like a cast of a lot of like mid 2000s like somethings like kind of had an impact, but none of them really had a big impact on pop culture. But we have like Katie Stewart is in it. As Chloe. We have Matthew Marsden, who looks like he would be a brother to James Marsden, but he is not. I believe he's British or Canadian.
He's British, but there's a Canadian. He's British, but there's a douse of Canada all over this place. He's British, but it seems like all the rest of them have been working from Canada or are from Canada. Am I crazy here?
No, well, Canada makes a lot of. There's a big horror movie scene in Canada.
Right.
Lots of the classics are actually Canadian. And this one is not a classic, but you know what? It does scream Canada all over it. The movie starts with now knowing what I know about Tamara, it starts with a surprisingly elegant intro. Like the opening is like lightly scored, and you get all this, like it's a montage of like witchcraft and like, you know, somebody's going about casting spells. We've seen it before in many a film, but it starts with a very like straight to the point, classy intro. This movie does not, though, remain classy as it proceeds. I don't think classy is a word I could ever use to describe Tamara.
No, it goes off the rails pretty quickly,
which I appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, and we have to acknowledge that it's written by a gay man, Jeffrey Reddick, who also wrote Final Destination.
Yes.
So there is that.
Shocking.
Yeah. So it's very. I think you can very much tell.
Oh. Yeah. I'm shocked it's just a gay writer. I expect a gay costumer. Lots of gay. Yeah. And I also want to discuss, while the names are rolling, let's discuss the name Claudette Mink. Claudette Mink plays Mrs. Allison Natolly, the counselor. And that name alone, Claudette Mink, if there's not a drag queen who's sampled that name, someone needs to get on that.
The Natolly family. Call me crazy. I feel like this is a bizarre last name to have in this.
It's like good. Is this Goodfellas?
Yes. No, it's the Natollys. I'm a guy that does that. He does English. I don't know. I mean,
the moment after we have this, this elegant, dare I say, intro, the credits, we immediately cut to a shot of Jenna Dewan Tatum's legs in what is the shortest denim skirt I have ever seen. It looks straight out of Mean Girls, this whole ensemble. And she struts into a classroom. She struts up to her teacher, Mr. Bill Natolly, a famous gangster, apparently, Matthew Marsden. She struts right up to him and she just lays it out on the table and mounts him. They start fucking kissing and it goes right into a very passionate sexual makeout scene within seconds.
With her teacher. And as an educator, I was watching this. I was very uncomfortable.
I don't know why.
What are you doing, Jenna Dewan? Like, seriously. And they're doing it in the open classroom. The classroom door is still wide open. She's just mounting him on the desk.
I was very intrigued to figure out, I'm like, whose fantasy is this? I mean, believe me, I felt much better when I figured out it was hers and not Mr. Natolly's. Now, if this movie was made in 1983, it would have been Mr. Natolly's. It would be a very different movie.
One thing about Bill Natolly I do want to say is at least he handles the oncoming advances like a professional. Absolutely. To a certain extent. He not once ever appeases her desires. And at one point she starts kissing him and he's, apparently aroused, but even still, he's like, please stop. He's like begging her. So
when his arms are just like to the side, like dead. Yeah. He's like, my body's dead. Yeah. My body must be dead. Do not become erect.
I want it so bad.
Maybe we should ask Troy though. I mean, Troy being an educator, if he thinks that Mr. Natolly's responses are appropriate or if they need to be more, I don't want to say firm. That's the wrong word.
Aggressive.
Like direct.
I mean, I think he handled the situation pretty well. He probably could have done more. He probably could have went and talked to the administrator and been like, hey, this girl is coming on to me. Just so you know, just in case there's any sort of rumor that starts to come, right. I want to let you know this is to protect him. But I really do think he handled it well. I mean, he gets very stern with her at one point in the movie, like brings her in the classroom. He's like, oh, you little bitch, you better stay away from me. So, I mean, he's doing what he can. I feel like you have to think of yourself as a teacher and you have a student that has some issues because obviously she has some issues and you don't want to like be too like mean to her. So you kind of turn her down a little bit more lightly than probably you should. I think that's what he did the first time. He was like, hey, it happened. Don't worry about it. But yeah, I mean, I think he handled it pretty well. I mean,
all we're saying is with this current situation, we're not. Go ahead.
Although when he finds her standing in the middle of his house, that was a moment you should have been like, you need to leave. What are you even doing inside my house? Like you came in my house. You need to go.
In a corset.
Well, I kind of felt like I felt like at this part in the movie, not to get ahead, they were really trying and maybe failing at showing in this form, the power that she is able to exert. That it's kind of like putting, she is a witch, a spell on him because he was almost, in a way, frozen.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
In a way, out of shock, out of discomfort, out of, oh my fuck, why is this student dressed in a corset in my house?
But at the end of the day, I do want to at least acknowledge that this is not like a Jennifer Lopez, the boy next door caliber teacher error.
No.
In which she willingly fucks what I'm assuming is a 17-year-old.
First off, she does not know he is her student until the next day, and he is 19 because he was kicked out of school because of his violence. So,
the line gets blurred. But anyways, so after we're kicking it off with the sex scene.
Luckily, luckily the sex scene is a dream sequence. She's imagining this. So obviously she has the hots for Mr. Natolly. And she wakes up in the middle of class and after she has this fantasy about Natolly and It's clear from the get-go she's a nerd because she's wearing a jean dress with a floral blouse.
Yeah. You can put as many frumpy jumpers and denim knee-length skirts as you want on Jenna Dewan. You cannot.
It doesn't matter.
You will not. You will never convince me that this girl is homely. You can't. What nonsense?
Curls of hair in front of you, and make sure you light her in like dark black and white sepia shades. Yes. No, I mean they always do this when they try to make a stupendously hot girl look nerdy. Just two large tendrils and like a denim jumper, and I'm like.
It's like the not another teen movie moment where like she has her hair in a ponytail and glasses, and then she like lets it down, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're so hot!" Yeah. It really is unbelievable when I see this beautiful girl in these frumpy ensembles for me to understand that she could be bullied to such a severe level. But it is what it is. I'll buy it.
She also doesn't have socialization skills, so that is adding to many of this.
It's very much like Carrie.
Yeah.
Yes.
It very much is. And I do want to acknowledge that this school, we have watched many a film now in which the students of various schooling systems, high schools, colleges, what have you, do not look of age. However, the amount of body hair on some of the male students within this particular school, it is overwhelming. It's worrisome. I'm nervous for these young men and how quickly they must be developing. And then they do explain that all of them are on steroids, and it makes complete sense.
Rapey one, I forget his name. Brunette Rapey, not longer hair Rapey. He is
Sean.
Yes. Sean. The one with the beady eyes. He is what? Maybe 27. It's ridiculous. You compare him to nerdy hot Roger, who they try to make nerdy with glasses, and I'm like, this guy's probably got the best body out of all of them. And like that kid at least looked maybe 24. But the steroids and the ages and the bodies are all over the place.
Yeah, the girl with the short hair looks like a soccer mom.
Melissa Marie Ellis, she has been in more Lifetime Christmas movies, Theresa, than Lacey.
This is the African-American girl, correct? The bully?
Yes, the very pretty one, yes. Yep, Keisha.
I mean, yeah, gorgeous with a horrible haircut.
And her outfit.
They were leading.
She's wearing that lime green jumper suit at one point, tracksuit.
And that oversized hat with a large brim, something that you would see the band Len wear. Remember Steal My Sunshine?
Oh, yeah.
Like, they would definitely be wearing that on the back of that moped. Yes.
She looks like she's straight off of the set of like a community theater production of Oliver. Like she has a point where she's standing on a picnic table next to her boyfriend. And this girl is roughly like 4'1".
Yes.
I've never seen such a petite woman in playing such a strong, angry role before. She's got a Napoleon complex, but she's quite a bitch. She's very unlikable. And her line delivery, it leaves something to be desired. It sounds dubbed.
I feel like she was hired because she looked like a mini Halle Berry. I mean, you know what? Not everyone is going to be the best actor. She's truly beautiful. She plays the ultimate mean girl. I wanted her to go meaner, frankly. A lot meaner. But they left that up to Rapey 1 and Rapey 2. So.
Yeah. I feel like Keisha maybe almost had more dialogue in the original script, because if you watch some of the dramatic sequences, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but I think maybe acting was not her forte. I wonder if they cut some of her lines.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I was thinking the exact same thing, because there are moments, especially in the hotel room.
Yep. She doesn't say a word.
I thought, no, I'm like, okay, she was just like wanting to kick everyone's ass 5 minutes ago in the locker room. And now she's in the room with the girl that confronted her and is barely saying anything. And when she sees what's going on with Tamara, you would think she'd be all giddy about it and like egging it on, and she just like sits there and doesn't say a word. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Well, that and her, I would say overall, like her lack of dialogue in key scenes, and the fact that a lot of her lines genuinely, I feel like 80% of her lines sound awkwardly dubbed, makes me think that maybe they had some, I think they may have had some issues possibly with getting the performance they needed. Meanwhile, speaking of strange voices, I do need to say that Jenna Dewan does sound at all times like an elven princess. She doesn't sound real. It's like always up in her nose.
It is in that nasal cavity because again, I hate to keep on bringing up. She's done other things besides this Lifetime movie. She made them do it, 2013 Lifetime Movie Network. But it is nowhere near that nasal sound by that time. And things that you've seen after this. So this is definitely, I think this is only her, first or second movie? You know?
It's too,
I think it was filmed around the same time, it was probably filmed around the same time as Step Up, or a little bit after, and released a year later. In Step Up, she just really, I hate to say this, Step Up is Channing Tatum's movie. I hate that he hijacked it, but he kind of hijacks it from her because he has so much damn charisma. Whew. Okay, moving on. Getting hot thinking of Channing Tatum.
Exactly right. But the kids already don't like her. But like, what motivates them now even more to treat her like major shit is that she writes an article that gets in the school newspaper that the teacher. Okay, I have a problem with this. The teacher should have known better than to allow that article to be printed on the front page of the school. He had to have known the backlash it was going to cause. And it's almost like you're a fucking dick. Like you know that she's already kind of an outcast, and you see how she's treated by these jock guys. And you're going to be like, oh yeah, let's put your article about how they're all doing steroids. Let's put it front and center on front of the school newspaper. Yay, there we go. Look at you. You're such a wonderful writer. Well, of course it pisses them off. I mean, she basically names them as being all on steroids.
And what set me off a little bit with this, and this might be because I was the editor of her school newspaper, and Mr. Novotny says something that really irks me. When he essentially makes it sound like, well, you know how it works. You won it makes it sound like a contest. You wrote the best article, so you got the front page. And I go, what type of one-horse town are we in that this is how the editorial process? No. Goes to the news editor. Is Mr. Novotny also the news editor? Whatever. I'm splitting hairs here, but it did irritate me. Setting her up for failure, setting her up for more abuse.
Yeah. Yeah, he's feeding the fire. But for some reason, she's still smitten with him.
It's her only friend.
I mean, well, the next scene in the locker room, short-haired girl, what's her name? Keisha. Confronts her and calls her a dog, ugly dog, and throws a towel at her. And then the good girl does step in. Chloe, the character of Chloe, steps in. And I do like this because Chloe's like, hey, listen, bitch, I'm making this my business now. You back off. You got something to say? I don't think so. Leave. But that's never really explored very well in the movie in terms of like that they form some sort of friendship. Not. Do you know what I mean? It's that one scene, and then the scene at the motel when she sees Chloe there and just automatically screams, I trusted you. Why would you trust her? You haven't done anything with her. She stuck up for you one time in the locker room. Like, you have no relationship.
I think this was just a tiny flashback of one incident. You're going to start us off with a fantasy montage, a sexual montage between this teacher and Tamara, but you can't give me 30 seconds of maybe a situation that happened when they were in 4th grade.
They're out for coffee or something. Yeah, they go out for
they go out for coffee in the 4th grade.
In the 4th grade. Why not?
But I gotta say, pretty early in, I knew to lower my expectations with Tamara, and I knew to really not expect a lot in the sense of character development and believability. And I think that what we get out of the character Chloe, even that I'm shocked we got it. And it ain't much, but you know what? She's trying, and is she paper thin? Yes, but is she genuine and well intentioned? Sure, and I'll take it. In the sense of a final girl kind of, baseline concept as much as we're going to get from one in a movie like Tamara. But yeah, no, she's a likable alternate female lead. I'll say that.
Yeah, and then out in the hallway, of course, the jocks see Tamara and yell at her and start chasing her. She runs into Mr. Natolly's classroom. And this is when you do get a nice little compassionate exchange between the two of them. And he's being very compassionate towards her. And he's using these literary quotes to appease her and saying things like, just remember, this too shall pass. And she's like, oh, are you trying to use literary terms to make me feel better? And he's like, yeah. And then she goes in and tries to kiss him.
And he responds exactly the way a teacher should respond in that situation. Yes. He backs the fuck away.
Backs away.
Wide-eyed.
The only issue here is that short-haired girl Keisha sees from the hallway.
Silently, because they cut all her fucking lines. But she
her eyes are saying it. Her eyes are darting this way and that.
They are. And she's quick to tell, too. She's quick to tell her creepy friends, Raper 1 and Raper 2. And the guys in this are shit.
So my one thing that we should mention, too, that, like, it matters, but when she wrote the article, there was already suspicions by the administration, apparently, about this steroid use. But it's kind of the final nail. It's the final cataclysmic event for them to come in and start searching lockers. So that is where the true anger is coming from these head male guys, Rapey 1 and Rapey 2. One is Roger. You remember these names, or Troy? You?
It's Patrick and
Sean. Sean with the beady eyes. Patrick, the one who is dosing the girls with the pills. They're great guys.
And taking them to hotel rooms and raping them. Yeah, exactly. All American boys, right?
And the one is just so fucking, I need to emphasize, he's so hairy for his age.
They're both like not, I was thinking, okay, if you're gonna have like these like jocks, okay, in a film that are supposed to be like desirable, cast better looking guys, because these two guys are pretty homely.
I agree. I only was attracted really to Nerdy Roger and Justin Bieber hair. You know who I speak of.
Yeah, Nerdy Roger who's a character that comes into play simply for, as a plot device, really. You know,
I have a problem with what happens to Nerdy Roger, and we'll get there.
Oh. We will get there, but I do got to say he's by far the most attractive of the men, and they're trying really hard to not make him attractive. But even by putting him in that fitted polo, geez, that body is kicking. Mm-hmm. And they do a really weird job of casting people in the roles, because none of them really look the way I would envision these characters to look, other than Tamara, because she's gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, and then when she leaves Mr. Natolly's room, she gets confronted by Sean and Patrick in the locker room, and they basically get in her face and it's like a really aggressive, push her up against the locker, and it's like, "You're gonna get yours, bitch! You trailer trash whore!" They're called. And I'm like, and I feel so bad for her. I mean, like, God, they're such assholes to her. And she drops her necklace, and Patrick steps on it and breaks it. And they're just assholes.
Yep.
Like, and then, not to mention, after this scene, she goes home, and not only are these fucking two rapists horrible to her, her fucking dad is a creep.
Her dad's also apparently a rapist. So it's not even really,
right.
You don't know it until they bring it up as like a plot point. But this father fits every trope of a drunk, rapey father you need.
I mean, you guys had pedophile stuff last week and now pedophile stuff this week.
It's a theme. It's our
2
theme.
weeks in a row.
It's our theme, pedophile.
This month's theme is pedophiles.
Yeah, right.
Tune in next week, guys. Can't wait. But yeah, no, this father really, like, his performance is not bad. But just like what you said earlier, Theresa, about the relationship between Chloe and Tamara and wanting more, I honestly wanted more. I didn't want any of the pedophilia, but I wanted to see more of the abuse and like the manipulation with them. You know what I mean? I wanted to see more of, because it seemed like he really some of the things he does say to her, there's so much more room to expand on that and develop that toxic relationship so that you feel more vindicated, validated when she does finally break. And I think because they are really thin on the development between these relationships, some of these bigger moments don't hit as hard as they could once you get further into the film.
Because they do unveil during this interaction between, and her father's an alcoholic and very angry, but then he has these moments kind of tenderness, and then he says something about her mother who's no longer with them and infers that, correct me if I'm wrong, she's dead, correct? Or she's left them.
She left them. I think she yeah, so
she left them, so it's not a death
she left
thing.
them.
So all of this anger is going towards Tamara now. Tamara's like reminding him more and more of her as well. And then something is, because Tamara has her grimoire, her like spell book with her, which of course gets knocked about in the classroom by Rapey 1 and Rapey 2, because you gotta make, like, who fucking makes fun of witches? But like when her dad sees that, and he's like makes some offhand remark about how her mother dabbled in this. So right then you're like, something's running in the family. Indeed.
Yeah. At least they do set up a little bit of that. And it's like, I mean, like, you know, this movie moves at a pretty fast pace, and at times they'll skimp on certain details, but at least like they do establish like the who's, the what's, and the whys. So for that, you know, alone, it does fine. And I you know, it really isn't until we get about towards the halfway point that things pick up. When they do, listeners, don't you worry, it fucking picks up. But at this point, we're really getting a lot of the exposition of why things take the turn the way they do. And it is a lot of very Carrie-like early exposition. It really is. You use the right term, Troy. I do have that noted here several times myself. It takes a very Carrie approach to Tamara and who she is and why she is the way she is. And so Tamara is very beaten down at this point. You know, she's feeling very defeated, especially because of the whole situation with the teacher Bill. And so she starts to become a bit vengeful, and she basically makes a comment in a very uncomfortable manner. I'll make you love me. And she launches into a ritual that is literally a montage of every ritual trope, I've ever seen. You've got incense, hair, a book of spells,
candles,
lighting candles and wax from said candles. There's the book of spells with the incantation. She recites the incantation. Then there's a knife,
blood work,
and then the knife. Yeah,
all of the alchemy is there. Yeah. It's all there. But what can't she do?
And
what she
can't follow through.
She's trying to put the love spell out there. Mm-hmm. So she's doing all the proper incantation. She has the alchemy. She has all of that stuff. But what she can't do is spill her own blood, which she has is that a scythe?
There was like
I mean, the fact that she was allowed to have, first off, in the Pedone household, Santo Pedone is not allowing even one tea candle being burnt. She has the fire hazard in that bedroom with the alcoholic father. I mean, this place is going to go up in flames at any moment. But she has to cut some part of her body to add her blood to part of this entire spell, and she can't do it. And she's pretty much like, still a chicken. She says something. It's not still a chicken.
Still a chicken. Is that a reference?
No, what's that from? Roger, she says something like
not a swan. Like
no, not like I didn't have the guts to follow through.
Oh, I thought you meant that she was still a chicken.
Like she's laughing.
Oh,
no, that is the spell she is going for, to become a chicken.
Yeah.
She has the bravery to go the last step.
No, she doesn't.
Really,
she actually says some witch.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or still a
my
chicken.
God.
I like still a chicken better. I think we should.
We're gonna have to dub it.
If there's a remake to this, that the line's being changed to still a chicken.
Oh, absolutely.
Still a chicken.
My live theatrical performance of this. Oh, I can't wait to cast this.
Teresa's doing a one-woman show of Tamara, guys. One night only. Get tickets while you can.
I'm playing every fucking role. Original songs and choreography also by me. Costumes by Roger.
Costumes in this, by the way, only
Yeah.
get better. It is very 2005. It is straight out of an Avril Lavigne music video, and I love it. And speaking of costumes, this next scene coming up is the scene with that big fucking hat. God,
we missed the setup. The guy, in the meantime, the two guys are planning to play a trick on her. Much like Carrie, you have to have an elaborate prank. So the elaborate prank that the guys are playing is that they know that Tamara loves the Mr. Natolly, and so somehow they get a voice changer as a scream. Apparently,
this is Roger. Well, this is when Roger comes in. All the tech stuff. That's why they.
That's why they have to get Roger to be part of the group.
Yeah,
because he has a voice changer. Okay,
Yeah.
And all the audio equipment.
A voice calling her that sounds exactly like Mr. Natolly. So this must be the best voice changer ever created. Yeah. Calls her and is like, "I love you.
Too much emotion. It is so flat. It's like, I love you. I want to be with you." She's like, "Okay." It's like,
come to the seedy motel without any questions whatsoever.
Take all your clothes off in the room. What the fuck, Tamara?
Well, I mean, listen, she's a bit naive. I give her the poor girl. Look at her life, with those frizzy bangs. I mean, she's got a hard one. That's all she's got is the hope of falling in love with this teacher. And of course he's given into it or else the story wouldn't move forward. But listen, they've got a layer of static over the phone as well. And that it makes it hard for her to hear it. She does have that bit of dialogue. Like, I can't hear you. You're not Mr. Natolly. But even that, I'm like, but how exactly did they do it? But you know what? Weak plot devices aside, we'll go with it. We've seen it so many times before. Every aspect of this movie. Have I seen it before? Yes. Have I seen it done better? Yes. Have I seen it in this specific order with Jenna Dewan in short denim skirts? No. So it works. But so she agrees. She agrees to meet Mr. Natolly at the seediest motel ever.
And of course, it's not Mr. Natolly. It is the guys along with Roger and the Chloe and her boyfriend that just shows up out of nowhere. What's his name?
The explanation for Jesse's arrival is literally
he's from California.
He's from California, and they're coming up with like this. They're like hatching the plan, and they're like, "Guys, this is gonna be fun." And he comes up behind them. He's like, "Oh, dude, please tell me you just said the word fun." And I'm like, this is the weakest introduction for a character. Like, you had nothing better than just having him be like, "Did you say fun?"
I like fun. I'm from California.
That's really, and he's like, "Yeah, man, for sure." Yeah, so that's the introduction of that character. And apparently he's dating Chloe. Like, apparently they're kind of a thing.
And there is really no reason for those two to at all be showing up at Rapey One and at this little get together with the Rapey brothers. And
no, considering the fact that you would think that these two guys would not want a lot of people to know what they were doing.
Right.
You're going to bring the girl in that literally earlier that day stood up for Tamara and was like, got in short-haired bitch's face about it. You're going to let her come in the room and you're going to still do this prank and not think that nobody's going to say anything about it. But again, these are two guys that drug women and rape them. So I guess they're maybe not thinking.
Right.
It just makes no sense that they were there. Like, there's no reason for them to be there. I kept wondering, like, are these guys that stupid that they're going to do this prank in front of just these random people?
I feel that is a little bit more. I mean, her character is fucking thin, but I think Keisha's involvement is more than anything the reason for Chloe to come, because they have that confrontation in the bathroom where they really get at it, and then Keisha kind of manipulates it to be like, yeah, I want you to come. We're going to have fun. But really, Keisha's just as bad as the two guys. You know, Keisha, if anything, I think she wants Chloe to be attached to it to make her feel like shit, seeing what they're going to be doing to poor Tamara.
It's kind of like witnessing a mob hit. Now you're part of it. You're part of, you can't go and narc me out because you were there. And now it's going to be my word against yours that of your level of involvement.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happens. Yeah, I mean that's really
it's association. Yeah,
it's a Natolly mob hit.
I will say something. Well, I think Rapey 1 and Rapey 2, especially the one that is very angry about it with the beady eyes, the Eric character. I think they're very performative. They've been doing stuff like this for years. They have been assaulting girls. Probably they're the type of guys that are assaulting girls at parties, and they're videotaping it and showing it to all their friends. So them having a group of people in another room is like something that gets both of them off. They love this type of performative assault theater, essentially, and that's what this is with her. I will say I was shocked that she had like a matching, essentially, Victoria's Secret bandeau bra and lace panties. She would definitely have like some Walmart level sad underwear. And I'm not judging her. I'm not. But she can't afford those pieces of lace finery unless those were her mother's.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, listeners, if you're not gathering it, basically they set up this ploy to lure Tamara with all of her lustful feelings for Bill, the teacher. They set up a ploy to get her to come to the seedy motel, in which they're in the next room over, and they set up a camera, which they procure through the nerd Roger, who they somehow convinced to be involved, even though he even said, he's like, I'm very confused why you'd want to befriend me in these circumstances. Like, his dialogue is very awkward and robotic. But so the gang's all here. And they're all watching, and yeah, I agree with you, Theresa. I think what they plot to do is very much along the lines of, it's more humiliating for her because the volume of people watching it is greater. You know,
and I just have this really strong feeling that they've done these types of things before.
Well, the way they set it up, I mean, they go. It's a very elaborate plan.
Yeah.
So yeah, he goes into the next room, puts flowers on the bed. He is in the bathroom with the shower on, and we're talking about Sean, pretending to be Mr. Natolly. They tell her to get undressed, and I think it's funny that like the guy, they're in the other room watching this on TV, including Chloe. Okay, and she can't tell right away that it's Tamara. Like, you're watching.
They tell her. They
it's
tell
a
them
stripper,
that they hire
but it's obviously. Yeah. You go to school with this girl. It's her. Like, how are you? Right. You're sitting there watching it. And you're like, oh, doesn't she look familiar? No, they're like, oh, it's a stripper. Okay. But it's clearly Tamara, and they're acting like they have no idea who it is. But anyways, gets in bed naked pretty much while she's in her underwear and bra. And he comes out of the bathroom. He's like, tell me you love me. And she's like, I love you. And he comes out and is like, starts attacking her, gets the camera in her face, and is like, you dumb, ugly bitch. It's you. And she realizes it's a prank. Well, the others watch in horror. Well, Roger and Chloe watch in horror.
And Jesse. Jesse is a good guy.
I like Jesse.
Jesse seems just kind of more befuddled than anything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure where I'm at, ever.
Yeah, for like a solid minute, they just watch in awe, being like, what's happening?
Right.
Although I gotta say, listen, when Tamara drops that frumpy dress, that body is insane. And immediately, you can try to make fun of this girl all you want and try to make her feel uncomfortable. She's instantly hotter than anybody else.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
By like 50 points. Not that we're on a point system here, but what the fuck? All you had to do was brush her hair and put lipstick on and put a fitted shirt on her. I mean, this was not a lot more work. Brush hair, lipstick, fitted shirt, red bra. Done and done.
But so the plot begins to unfold, and then instantly everyone kind of like jumps to action, and Chloe's grabbing Keisha and saying, where is she? And in the commotion, Tamara runs from the room. just as Chloe kind of busts out of their separate hotel room. And Tamara, the first thing she sees is Chloe standing there and instantly just loses her shit. She thinks she's involved before Chloe really has time to explain what's going on. And she just starts attacking Chloe.
Yeah, she runs. That's what I was saying. She like screams at her, I trusted you. And again, it goes back to why would you trust her? You don't even know her. She stuck up for you one time. I don't understand where all this hostility is coming from towards Chloe, especially when she runs and she actually literally like charges Chloe into the hotel room. And she sees all the other people in there. I would think when she got in the room and she saw like Patrick, that's the one I would start attacking. Obviously he's in on, but she like throws Chloe on the bed and like starts punching her in the face. And
so I'll say when I was in high school, I remember specifically having a moment where like a pretty cruel prank was played on me. And I went into a blind rage. And and this is the only time I remember this happening, but I was so embarrassed and upset that I just lost my shit. And I think this is a moment where she literally is so insulted and angered and hurt and all these feelings and emotions. And she's probably 16, and is just acting on impulse, and this is a moment when she says that I trusted you. Like, I do believe the idea that there's nobody else who's even nice to her. So from that alone, she would think, I mean, can't anybody be kind to me? Can't anyone be fucking kind to me? Apparently not,
Yeah, she lashes out and she has Chloe on the bed and the two guys, Jesse and Patrick, grab her off. And she actually like is able to knock Jesse into the fucking end table. He goes flying 50 feet into the end table. So she has some pretty powerful strength. Jesse grabs her, or I'm sorry, Patrick grabs her, and she's going wild, and she bites him. And of course, he reacts by throwing her off of him, and she flies into the coffee table, the end table, and the corner of it, and smashes her head, and she's dead.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
It is pretty brutal. I mean, that prank sure got out of hand really quick.
Yeah, very similar to a movie such as Cabin Fever. Nobody wants to take accountability, and we all want to bury the situation immediately. Yeah, one word of wisdom, one word of consciousness being Chloe, pretty much. Jesse's kind of quiet and just scared. And the rest of them are like, bury the body. I mean, it's barely even a conversation.
It's very briefly touched on before they all agree that the right decision is to bury the body. It's very reminiscent of dare I bring it up again, Sorority Row remake.
Or, I mean, yeah, I was thinking that, or I Know What You Did Last Summer. Yeah. I mean, it's the same sort of thing where you're trying to, you have a whole group that's basically on board with something that we know is not a good idea from horror movie trope standpoint. And there's trying to be that one voice of reason that ultimately gets convinced to go ahead with it. And that's Chloe, because even Jesse at one point's like, dude, she scratched me. Like my DNA is going to be under her fingernails. So, I mean, that's not going to look good. So we might as well do this and just not talk about it anymore. And that's what they do. They take her out in the middle of the woods and bury her. And I'm wondering how often has this actually happened? It's probably happened way more than we know.
I think of whenever I see these teenage oriented, not just horror movies, but like thrillers, I'm like, especially with, even though these teenagers don't look like teenagers, that age, I always believe it more than even an adult of making a decision that rash, because you are told, especially starting at the age of 15, 16, that every single thing that you do is going to be on some type of record that reflects if you're going to the next step, whether it be college or something else, and what you do right now is going to define every single thing in your life, and you believe it. So these two rapey guys who are already under suspicion for steroid use and are freaking out because they might not get their scholarships, they're not going to have any sympathy for this relationship at all. They're completely selfish already to begin with. And they're They're like, moving on. She's a non-person to us. We're just going to get rid of the situation. Nobody will miss Tamara. That's another thing. Like, she has no friends. She's a loner. She's this.
Yeah. I do think this is an example where if you had actually had actors in the roles of the right age, a scene like this would read significantly more impactful, because this is the decision that I agree with what you just said. I can see uneducated, scared 16-year-olds making a dumb fucking decision like this. But for some of these actors to be playing these roles where they do look like grown adults making this conscious decision impulsively to dispose of this body, it does seem like a rash decision. I mean, yes, she's bleeding profusely from the head. She is dead. There is a tape. DNA is under the nails. At least they go through all of the standard, again, the tropes, what you'd expect. But yeah, they make that decision within a matter of seconds. And before you know it, they're digging a hole in the middle of the woods.
They have the whole dug, and they bury her. And then there is just this weird transitional scene that I think could have been done without. And it is after they bury her, they look down and like her body's gone, and she comes up behind the one guy, rips his throat out, and chases what's his name down and breaks his neck, and then she goes after Chloe. And then it just cuts to, this was a dream. It was Chloe's dream.
Yeah, I think they're pretty desperate to add in a sequence of suspense, gore, and horror, because at this point you are significant. You're a good chunk of the way into the movie, and you've had nothing. You've had nothing.
Do you guys have, not to get off any type of tangent, but do you guys have examples of horror movies that you love when they do? We've seen this before in different thrillers, horror movies, and what have you. And some people have succeeded better than others of, that's a dream, or this was somebody's hallucination, or something along those lines. Something to get you to like a next pivotal part of the scene. Do you guys have any movies that you think do this well?
To be expected, but the Nightmare on Elm Street sequences where they transition to like the early ones where Nancy waking up in the classroom and everything, falling asleep at the desk. Some of those moments are used intentionally to amplify like the character's state of mind and what they're thinking internally and everything. I think this was kind of just an awkward way to, like I said, bring some violence and horror into the movie. I think maybe just to skim past the time frame and just get to the next day. There's some weird pacing decisions made throughout the course of this film.
Yeah, Troy, what do you think about that too, with like also the pacing on this? Because it's like, okay, now where are we at next day? What day is it? 2 days after? I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, I agree. I think this transition especially is very confusing and can read as being very confusing, because in my mind, it might mislead the audience to think that the whole thing was a dream.
Yeah.
If you're just going to throw this random dream sequence in that has the first violent sequences in the film and it ends up being a dream, then in my mind, I'm like, oh shit, okay, so they're going to pull this dream thing. Is this whole movie going to be a dream, or was this whole encounter with Tamara at the motel a dream? What was really a dream or not? But we don't know, because you just did this ridiculous transition that wasn't necessary. You could have just went to the next day where they're at school. They're looking at each other awkwardly. That alone lets us know that there's tension. They're still very iffy about what happened. I don't think you needed that whole thing.
I agree. It seems really just out of nowhere, and just
because it ends up being Chloe's dream, and she wakes up, and the only reason we get to know that, okay, so they must have really buried her, but what we just saw was a dream is because she has the bruises on her arms from where Tamara grabbed her still. And then they get to school the next day, and you can just tell by the way they interact with each other that they're all like really freaked out. They're staring at her empty desk. They're looking at each other. They're looking at her empty desk.
Yeah. And at this point, I do need to bring up the comment. How many times do we think Diablo Cody got stoned off her ass and watched this movie before writing the script for Jennifer's Body. Because I mean, she at least watched it 3 times. Stoned. I mean, she was so stoned.
Well, there are very similar costuming choices and looks between Jenna Dewan and Megan Fox.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. But it's also that era of like the inverted flat stomach a la Britney Spears early 2000s and like shrunken baby tee, peekaboo bra. I mean, it's a whole thing. It's Mean Girls, as you said. It's that
things girls actually could never wear to a high school and get away with it. They would be removed from the school. They would be told they have to go home and change. I remember high school. You know,
correct.
Troy, you're living it.
Yeah, you wouldn't wear it. You would not be able to.
All you see are
she showed up.
Girls in hoodies and sweatpants and moccasins.
But she showed, okay, so the kids are in their English class, and they're concerned. They're looking at some of them look remorseful, except what's his name? Sean looks like he doesn't really give a shit. But
no.
Chloe finishes her little test early, and she goes out into the hallway and she drops something, and all of a sudden we see a foot in a high heel step on it, crunch it, and we look up and it is Tamara, and she has completely had a makeover, which consists of just a short skirt, a white shirt with a red bra sticking out of it, and her hair's done now.
Theresa, costume and makeup notes, go.
Red heels, which is okay. That's a choice for that I would never choose really for anything with school. It's so stripper. It's so stripper schoolgirl. I was a little disappointed in that. At least give me a stacked loafer. Give me a stacked loafer. Don't give me a high heel. Don't give me a hooker high heel. How did this happen? I know she is a full witch. The blood got on the part of the spell. I get it. We're smart enough. But the clothes. This is not Wonder Woman. She did not spin, and here is her costume. Did she go somewhere? Did she kill 5 people to get this costume?
Did she dig herself out of that
yes.
that hole, that shallow hole?
Correct.
And just the first thing she did before, because there's a limited time frame. She got killed at night and they have to go to school the next morning. Did she dig herself out of the hole and go shopping immediately?
She did not shop. She killed some teens from the town over. Like, first thing she did, just an anger kill. Did that, took all their makeup. They're like Jeffree Star fucking palettes. She's doing it all. I think showered probably after she kills the entire family. And she's like, oh, I've always wanted red heels. She's not like a fashion maven. She's been living with the pedo father. She doesn't know.
Yeah, it's in her head what she thinks sexy is. And it's so gratuitous. It's very over the top.
She looks sexy though.
She does.
I just wanted the stacked loafer. That's what I'm saying. Like if this was Project Runway, it'd be like the stacked loafer would be even hotter because it's not hot. Get it? And she would then kill me, you know.
Well, not only does she have a fashion makeover, she has an attitude makeover.
Oh, she does.
Because now this bitch is confident. She is sarcastic. She is confrontational. So, yeah.
One-liners left and right, which is also what I like. She did not have that charm and that comic timing before. Like her witchcraft is giving her charm and comic timing.
Give me that spell.
I gotta get me some of that. Gotta get me some of that witchcraft. And hot.
Yeah, and when she walks into the classroom, everyone's like, the people that were involved in her death are like, what the fuck? They're like looking at each other, and she just sits down. She walks in, she's like, I'm sorry I'm late. I just had a horrible weekend. I almost died getting here. That's my Jenna Dewan voice. I don't know.
My God, I love that. I like it because it's kind of seeped in a little bit of Virginia. Like, I just got here. I'm Jenna Dewan. You like my red shoes? I'm a witch.
And a hoe. But I mean, because she's aching for that teacher, and now she's just putting it all out there.
Well, she stays after class to apologize, and she's like, I'm sorry, I was just not feeling myself.
I feel hat from Gone with the Wind. Like she has a parasol.
Right.
She's still a bustier, but a parasol.
Well, the
and
bustier is coming,
fan.
Theresa. The bustier is coming.
Oh, that's coming. And he's like, well, how are you feeling? She's like, oh, I'm perfect. Can't you tell?
She's laying
And
it
she
on
just walks
thick.
it.
She's laying it on so thick.
And it's so different than how she acted before. I'm surprised he's not like more like
Concerned,
aggressive about questioning her. Like, okay, what the hell happened? Yesterday you were in a jean skirt and a floral blouse that was 10 times too big for you. Now you're in this. What's going on?
Now your entire outfit is from Wet Seal, from head to toe.
Gap kids or Wet Seal. Plus, your hair is brushed again and shiny. How did you get your hair brushed shiny with red lipstick? You have teeth? I mean, there'd be like so many questions on that.
Did you wish you missing them? I mean, she was pretty homely, but
oh, the tendrils in front of her face, hiding her face when she was awkwardly flirting with her teacher, but still wanting to kiss him. No, I get it. She was very Tamara Morgan, and now she's very glamorous, but she's also very foreboding. And she leaves his room with a note of suspicion, and he is obviously somewhat thrown off by her new energy. And that new energy is pretty blunt and in the faces of everybody who's aware of what's going on. The last one to really find out about what's going on is Roger, because he is alone in the audio-visual room.
I feel like that must be the only place he is at in the whole school day. He just stays in this little audio. He doesn't have to go to class. He just sits in the video room.
It looked very state of the art. By the way.
For 2005. Yeah.
Holy shit! That AV room was like, and he's the only one who's allowed to work there apparently.
Yeah.
As you said, he's there all day. Roger is exempt from all classes because of the AV.
But he's so fucking good at it. That's why he has 40 TVs stacked around him.
He has 40 TVs, and they literally all start playing the video of the confrontation from the night before.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it was
very caring.
It was good.
He can't shut it off, and he realizes there's not even a tape in the VCR that's playing it. And as he's trying to stop it, it's a moment where Chloe says something about she can't be dead, can she? And then all of a sudden you hear Tamara's voice say, I don't know, Roger, can I? And she's standing right next to him. Yeah, and this scene, okay, this is a disgusting scene.
Yeah.
It's it's really gross. It really makes you cringe. From this point until his actual death, everything that happens to him is very vile and disgusting. She basically starts talking to him about how it feels to be buried alive, and she's like, "Well, first of all, your hands get all cut up because you're trying to claw your way out of the dirt." And he looks down at his hands, and they're all bloody, and then she's like, "Oh, yeah," and then she's like, "And then you can feel the insects eating you alive," and all of a sudden he looks at his arm, and like a bunch of earthworms just bust out of it. And then she's like, "And then you start suffocating on the dirt," and he starts coughing up dirt out of his mouth. It's gross. It's really the worm shit is really gross.
Yeah. It's a very well done sequence, though. Pretty quick once it gets to this death. It takes a while getting to it, but once you have this first death, that they're not going to skimp on like the wow factor. And I will say, like, a good amount of the deaths throughout the course of this film are pretty effective. So they start on a strong note. And they draw it out. Like, there are so many levels to this, what is building up to be a kill. Because after she has this whole moment where she basically makes him hallucinate and think all of this stuff is happening, she takes control of him. Tamara, you start to see really what her powers are, and she has a full power of control and persuasion over people, and she
compelling
compelling people, exactly. And she basically has him project himself onto all the TVs. He turns on the TV systems, the recording he's in the recording station, for the audiovisual department.
A thing only he knows how to do. But him and Tamara now. Tamara can do it because of witchcraft.
Thank God for witchcraft.
But he's the only one who knows how to do it in an organic way.
Right. And And the TV's come on throughout the school, and he starts reciting this monologue. And there's this really cool moment where he's talking, and it cuts to a shot of her strutting down the hallway, reciting the dialogue that he's saying word for word, showing that she has full control over him. It's a really well handled sequence.
Nice puppet master situation going on there. Yeah. Oh God, it's so visceral though. The sounds, I'll be honest with you guys, because he starts to destroy himself. And when I say that, he's starting to, for the school to see, because they have televisions in all of these rooms, big budget at this school, very fancy school, but whatever. He starts to cut off an ear. He starts to, it's like a hear no evil, say no evil. It's all then his eye, then he stabs his eye out, and it's the sounds, it's that visceral sound. To me, it's not as much of the act, it's the hearing what something going into a membrane sounds like. And I could not watch. This was the only scene that I was like, I've seen some gross horror in movies.
Yeah.
But this, I could not look at it. I was like, Jesus.
It is because he even says, I hear no evil. And then it takes him a long time. It's not quick. He's sawing his ear off for 30 seconds. And he's speak no evil. And he's sawing his tongue out for 30, and his blood's coming everywhere. And then the final one is see no evil. And he literally plunges the razor box cutter into his eyeball, and it looks so realistic. He collapses right away, and Mr. Natolly's trying to get in and can't get in to save him.
Okay, this is my question. What puzzles me about Hot Nerd Roger. I know that Tamara's ability at this time to discern between who is the worst out of them is limited. Or is it? This is one of my questions, but because obviously she identifies Chloe as a enemy, even though Chloe is not an enemy, because she missed seeing something that happened before she got killed. So of all of the men, at least of the men, nerdy but hot Roger is so much along for the ride in this situation. You know what I mean? In the death that she, the way she compels him to commit suicide is so extensive compared to, I look at someone like Rapey 1 and Rapey 2, who truly are her and Keisha, who have terrorized her. Uh-huh. And I'm like, I guess the question is, it depends on which level of horror do you think is worse that somebody would do to you? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. I guess the situation fits the person, because once we get to Rapey 1 and Rapey 2, we can argue that would be the worst thing for them possible.
Yeah, she takes a different route with them. I think
that's the one thing. That's the one thing, and we'll get to it with this movie. But that's kind of where it loses me. I think is at this point. It is because, like you mentioned, the character of Roger is the least deserving of that sort of horrific, brutal, extensive death. And why, of all the people that she wants to kill first, would she go after him and then essentially let everyone else live? Because she really, think about it, she does not kill anybody else in this film. The Rapey 1 and Rapey 2 are not killed by her.
No.
Nobody else is killed by her in this film. So it kind of loses me, because it's setting itself up really to be a kind of like a revenge flick. She's back to get revenge on these people that did this horrific thing to her. If it would have kept that momentum and it became a revenge film where she was doing the same horrific things to Keisha, right, then I would have been on board. The film loses me now, and I'm just going to say that, because I don't like the direction it takes, where now instead of it becoming a revenge film, it becomes it's a witch using people as a vessel to get the love of her life film. That's not what I signed up for when I started watching this. and it played out as it started to play out as a revenge film. It just lost me here. I'm going to say that I might be the minority here, but I'm getting that right out here. That at this point, the film has lost me.
I'm going to debate that a little bit, and we've yet to have this. I've never debated you, Troy, but I'm going to debate from my angle on this. And I'm not, listen, am I saying that I think that Tamara is a piece of cinematic gold? Absolutely fucking not. However, I think there is a reasoning and a rationale behind why Roger is the first victim, and I think it's several layers to the onion, dare I say. First, Roger is the weakest. And that is established right off the bat. He is uncomfortable. He's awkward. He's when everything is happening with her, he balls up in the couch. And as soon as his whole situation with his scholarship comes up, he's quick to jump on that instead of defending this girl. Another nerd, mind you. Second, when she starts to tap into the reasons why she does what she does with the style of kill we have here, it is a suicide. She flashes to the fact that he has a history of self-mutilation. You see flashes of him cutting himself with a razor. And so she's using his own personal kind of torments to be his death. That's really horrible. I mean, that's a pretty awful way to take somebody out with that mentality. Third, he is used as a very specific tool to be kind of like a harbinger of doom, I think, for the others in the cast. And you notice he's the only one in the film that she doesn't use really as a vessel to do her bidding, other than his, communicating this message, the monologue that he gives. Everybody else, at a certain point, she basically takes them over and has them do shit for her. Like, she's playing cat and mouse with the rest of them. This one, Roger, she disposes of him as soon as he is done giving that speech, and he cuts off that tip of the tongue, and it's disgusting. I've never seen a more realistic tongue cut in all my life. But I definitely think she just has no use for him because he's kind of pathetic. She even says it. She's like, "You're a loser." Like, it is so dark and sick and manipulative, but she has no further use for him. The ones she really wants to get to are the rapers and Keisha.
I totally understand your viewpoint. My only throwback on that is, like, all of a sudden, if she's a witch, she can manipulate people to do what she wants. So regardless of whether Roger is weak or not, if he's under her spell, he's going to do what she wants. Whether he succeeds or fails, he's still going to try to do it. So she could have used him to her advantage. I mean, think about it. The last 15 minutes of the film is a little 4'2", 80-pound girl chasing people around the hospital like she's goddamn Jean-Claude Van Damme. I mean, so if she could make Keisha all of a sudden become this powerful, like, superhero that can wield a fucking frying pan like it's a goddamn nunchucks and she's a ninja, then she could have done something with Roger besides make him mutilate himself.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying that's not even my point. My point is, I just don't like the direction the film set up to be one thing and then all of a sudden changes to something else. Because to me, it's not interesting watching the two jock guys who I hate and wanted to see come to a horrible demise. It's not interesting to me watching them chase Miss Natolly around the house. That's just not interesting to me.
Yeah,
that was...
I mean, I wanted a more straight up, like, revenge type film. And I mean, you get Mrs. Natolly takes out more fucking people in this movie than Tamara does. Come on.
No shit. Mr. Natolly is badass.
He is. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
We are.
Like, there are things.
We are.
After this sequence happens, and I have to say, the reactions to death in this movie are very understated.
They are. They're like, "Oh, he killed himself. Oh, what a shame."
Oh, and they're like talking about it, the cast, and they're like, "Oh no, what are we going to do?" And I love that. And this is why I do feel she's very intentional with what she does with Roger, because she comes strutting right up to him and she's like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And they're all like, and she's like, "Yep, I killed him. I'm gonna fuck you up too." Like, it's basically like what she in so many words, she basically implies, like, "Oh, you're gonna be seeing a lot more of me," kind of situation.
Yeah.
She's very much toying with them, and I love it. And you know what? Jenna Dewan shines as a bitch. I hate to say it, but I like her.
She does. She's better as a bitch than as a saccharine roll or as a nice girl. She shines. Give her better content.
Yeah, give her some better bitch roles. And I hate to say that I like Tamara better as a pretty bitch than as a frumpy, insecure nerd. But God, I would just hope she'd stay like this because she's more fun this way. But so yeah, she basically just
except for the murder.
She's a lot of fun. I love her transition from the frumpy nerd to this confident, confident bitch. And she's not afraid of anymore. I mean, she's the one that's going up to them and confronting them now, which is kind of a nice change of pace. At this time, Patrick is the only one that I think has some common sense because he is the one that's like, hey, remember she was into witchcraft. Maybe this is like has something to do with it. And everyone's else like, you're a fucking idiot. What are you talking about? And he's like, well, dude, look at her. I mean, obviously she was dead. She's alive now. Something's up. She was into witchcraft. Come on. So they go to the woods to look. They go back to where they buried her, which anybody in true crime knows that's a big no-no. Do not go back to where you buried a body. But they do.
Absolutely not.
And they find there is a funny little jump scare where her rotted head pops up real quick. It made me jump. It was pointless.
Yeah.
It made me jump.
What? Yeah.
It is the most shallow grave I've seen dug for a body. Like, I mean, how would someone not find this? It's very obvious. They didn't try very hard. I guess they were
because laying
desperate.
right on top of the grave is this bloody page from the spell that she took with her to the hotel. Like they have no problem it's laying right there, it's covered in blood, and she's like, he's like, oh, look at this, it's right here. So then they sort of do start to piece together that, hey, it may be something more supernatural than what we think. And then you get the scene where Tamara shows up at Mr. Natolly's house. Like she is in his house. She doesn't even knock. She's just in his house. He's sitting on the couch. He's
problematic.
Yeah.
It's already a problem.
He's already had a rough day, by the way. He was trying to get the hell into that AV room to save Dirty But Hot Roger, and he failed.
And she's talking very seductively to him. There's some sexual innuendos that I think are hilarious. Like he's drinking this glass of like whiskey or water and he puts it down on the table and she's like, oh, Mr. Natolly, it's so wet. And he's like, what? She's like, the water on the table.
He's like, he's like, my penis is so erect and I'm going to lose my job. That's what he's thinking.
Right. Yeah. And he's trying really hard. But let's take a second to discuss. There are some wardrobe choices over the course of this movie that boggle my mind, but none confuse me more than the lace corset bustier pencil skirt combination that she's wearing in this scene. I never support a corset and a pencil skirt, a knee-length pencil skirt, mind you. But they're trying to push a sex pot image with her, and I mean, it just looks very uncomfortable. Very stiff.
I've definitely worn that outfit, by the way, Roger, at a cancer benefit. Probably with you, like a full, like this. Honestly,
what kind of cancer?
It was just for Ohio Cancer Research.
You mean gotcha, yeah.
I wore that pencil skirt / bustier combination and a smart blazer over top.
Did you get did you get a response a la Tamara, where all the men just immediately did your bidding?
A little bit too much. I felt a little bit too seen.
If you know
my
what
breasts were out there saying hello. So what are you going to do?
Donate to cancer. What they say.
I'm here to donate to cancer with my breasts.
So this whole sequence is very awkward, but basically she leaves and he downs the glass of scotch in one gulp.
Well, yeah, because she leans over him and is like trying to like gonna kissing him, and he's like,
she does kiss him,
and she's like, you don't want me to stop, do you? I can tell. And I think
meaning his penis,
because she looks down.
Rhett Butler.
She looks down right between his legs, and she's like, I can tell you don't want me to stop, Mr. And I really think the reason why she doesn't straddle him is because she squeezed too tightly into that outfit. So there's like no way she could spread her legs far enough apart. So she leaves and he has blue balls. And His frumpy wife probably isn't going to help him out with that because all she does in this film is mope. But that's a whole different
about not being able to have children.
Well,
I mean, I suppose if there's a reason to mope, I suppose it's being infertile. So,
well, that's even better. You can get the dick without having to worry about getting pregnant. I mean, hello.
Well, they've been married for we know from an earlier scene they've been married for like what 10 years or so.
Well, we know the next day because Tamara's bold ass shows up in Mrs. Natolly's office.
Oh, Tamara's so busy these days.
Basically, she is like, listen, bitch, you were 30 years old, you're a hag. Your husband doesn't want you. He has all of these hot young women after him. You just need to like go away. You can't even you're barren. You're barren, bitch. He's gonna be mine. And she walks out of her office.
And but she does the whole thing in a way where she like is insinuating it. Like she starts off talking about herself and then she segues into like, oh, I just don't want to be a 30-something-year-old teacher. Like, like to talk about herself. But then at the very end of it,
children.
Yeah, right. but then she turns and she's like, and by the way, if the moral of my story is not clear, let me spell it the fuck out for you. You will never give Bill children. It's so unnecessary. This poor guidance counselor was trying to help her through like the loss of another student, Roger, whom she killed. But then this guidance counselor she's just doing her job. This guidance counselor does nothing other than love the man. Love Bill.
Fuck this job. Fuck this guidance counselor job, by the way. And fuck these students. I'm out.
And then she goes and tells her husband, I'm glad you told her about our sex life last night. He's like, I didn't say a word, whatever.
Like, how'd he know? How'd she know Bill? Which is a valid question.
Yeah, how did she know?
Right.
Well, then he goes and gets her. And I love the scene because she is like talking to this student that looks like he's 50. I don't know if you caught that.
It looks like the beginning of like a reality king gangbang porn where it's like 9 male students and she's just like playing with her hoodie. She's like, oh yeah.
I flirt with all the boys and I fuck them too. Yeah, like I was expecting her like to swing around.
They're like drooling over her and he's like, Tamara, my office right now.
And this is when he does tell her, hey, look, bitch, you need to leave me alone. This has gone too far. She's like, not yet, and storms out.
Well, she raises her hand and she like she does that thing with her hand when she takes control of people, where she places it like beside their face and she's about to do it. She's like, not yet. Because I think she's saying like, she's not going to force him. She wants him to fall. She wants him to fall for her.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Not yet. But she stomps away with a face of rage. I repeat, do not get Jenna Dewan mad at you. She has a bitch face unlike any I've seen. The anger, that nasal voice. Oh, God. She's pissed.
She's very scary. She is very scary as a villain. I'm telling you. I think she is. She's a tiny little thing.
Yeah.
Weighs about 90 pounds soaking wet, but she will cut you.
Oh, yeah.
She
will cut you.
Or she will take over your mind and force you to cut yourself.
Which leads into our next scene with her and her dad. She's leaving. She's getting ready for a party. Patrick's having a party and she just invites herself. Apparently she's not invited, but she's going to go anyway. And she's wearing her little, tight mini skirt and top and bra. And her dad like walks up to her and he's like, oh, you're looking good. Give daddy some loving.
Pedophile out of nowhere. Like, I mean, they barely even hinted at it before. And here we go again with like a weird character, like plot line that like, they don't really feed it to us other than like in the moment. And they're like, oh, by the way, I see how you look at me, Dad. And it like cuts to a shot of like his fly, like flipping and him like rubbing himself as he's looking through a keyhole. Like they do it like the simplest way possible so they can like skate around it and be like, oh, by the way, this dad's a child molester and he lusts after his own daughter. Like it's very heavily implied for like a second. That's all you get.
Yeah, she's like, you love that bottle more than you love you love that bottle more than you love mom. That's why she's left, and that's why now you have to lust after your daughter, you bastard. And then she touches his face and does that thing, and you get some flashbacks of him like grabbing her inappropriately and hugging her and stuff like that. And she's like, "You do love the bottle, don't you?" And he's like shaking his head. She's like, "Good, finish it." And he starts drinking the bottle, and she's leaving, and she's like, "There's more in the refrigerator." And then he starts like, once she's gone, he starts like actually eating the bottle, biting into it and chewing the glass. And
I love it. I love it.
Now, I will say this, and I'm really giving this movie way too much credit, but you could, if you go by the premise, and I was thinking about this over the weekend. Oh, how many times I think of Tamara over the weekend? Many, many, many. If he really has been molesting her, my one thing that I'm thinking, and one of the many reasons why she has so much isolation, is she has been molested by her father for years now. That is actually happening. And kind of a little bit like Carrie, especially Carrie the Rage, this is building up. So all of these other players coming in here and abusing her this is again why I don't like the order of this, because to me, if I was going to do this, the father would be last and it would be the worst death possible, a la Carrie again. But I was always thinking, what if this is kind of just really an allegory for, this type of abuse, essentially. And because I'm like, this would give so much more, I don't know, credence to her moving into witchcraft, her studying it, something to empower her. This has been happening, but she's blocked it out. But when she starts coming into her own as a witch, all of these things come to light, making her more and more angry.
Uh-huh.
And then you have this other event with the abuse event that Rapey 1 and Rapey 2 do. And that's big. But really the big thing is this abuse by her father. But I know that they were not going to be that nuanced with this. They were just like, more body horror, more eating glass.
Yeah, but what a good point, Theresa, in the sense that, like, if you're really trying to go for, this movie tries to go for some shock factor, but it doesn't really go for the emotional heft that you could pack into a movie like this, dealing with the trauma that comes with bullying and, obviously child abuse. There's a lot of things they pack in here, but they do order it in a way that, like, you would think the hierarchy of dilemmas, you would
yes.
You would think that the father, like, I mean, if she's being abused by her father, that has so much long-term trauma, suppressed trauma, and it's addressed literally in one scene, and he's disposed of, and it's done. And like, I know, yeah. I agree with you 100%. If like a final moment with this, taking this storyline and drawing this out, just as long as you have the Keishas and all these other characters, give me more of this, because this is something where I want to see her wreak vengeance, absolutely, and B, I want to see more of that material in the sense of knowing just why she's as angry and vengeful, and this hatred within her is developing. You would get so much more, like I said, emotional heft with that than the kind of paper thin approach they took to some of this. But either way, she's off to a party. And that dress. Theresa, tell me about that dress.
Oh, she looks, to me, this is peak Jenna Dewan. Jenna Dewan also, who often, she hasn't in the last season, but would serve as a co-host to World of Dance. And she would often wear outfits very reminiscent of this, because at times she would just, even as a host, just dance a little. Just as the intro. But it would always be kind of one of these sexy little red dresses where it's like, we're going to see your knickers. But she doesn't care because she's such a great dancer. It's fine. But I loved her walking into that party and they're like, you're not invited. And it's just this look of, seriously? Do you know who you're fucking with? Her just walking in there and just fucking with whoever she wants to.
Without hesitation.
Without hesitation. And in front of everybody, because she does her little spell on Patrick. It's his house. He's hosting the party. He's the first one that's like, bitch, you weren't invited. And she's like, oh, get me a drink. And then she does that little face rub with him, and he gets under her spell, and she like takes him out on the dance floor, and they just start like grinding on each other. So you have like two arch enemies that are like now all of a sudden sexually being sexually explicit with each other. And poor Jesse's just standing there and he's like, what the fuck? And Sean sees it and Sean's like, oh my God, I'm going to go get him. What the hell is he doing? So he goes and confronts them on the dance floor and she does the same thing to him right away. So now you got a sandwich. She's the meat and they're just grinding on her.
Loaves of bread.
A Tamara sandwich.
But tell me this ain't my kind of party, because my God, this looks like a good time. Circa mid 2005, or mid 2000s, the music, the vibe, the wardrobe, get me to that party, because everyone there is having the time of their fucking lives. The lighting, I mean, aside from the people getting killed or under spells, but there's a shot where they look over at the dance floor, they're dancing. I'm like, God, that looks like a good fucking time. Get me excited for one of your parties, Theresa.
Thank you. And tons of food. Lots of food, which obviously that is not a true high school party.
No.
It's like you're lucky if there's a stray bag of fucking Lay's out there.
Yeah. No, they had veggie trays, they had fucking submarine sandwich.
Yeah, somebody went to Costco that day. He's like, my parents are out of town and I'm going to spend $200 at Costco.
Now this is a good scene. No, it could have been a lot better. Just my,
but
a ton better
for 2005.
From my gay perspective.
No, well, 2005 wasn't that long ago. But so she takes Patrick and Sean up to the bedroom and starts making out with them. But then she's like, and this is when we get really hit on the head with the fact that they both have been drugging and raping women, young girls, freshmen. And so she's like, I want you guys to feel the violation that you've inflicted on all these other people. So guess what? You two are going to fuck each other. And
who's the pitcher? Who's the catcher?
Yeah. And she does eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And Sean gets to be the top.
Of course.
And she says it.
Well, yeah, he seems like.
Oh yeah. And Patrick is definitely.
Yeah. The other. Yeah. So they start making out, but it's so lame and so tame. Like nothing is shown.
They still have clothes on. I'm like, what is going on?
I was disappointed, especially knowing that a gay man wrote this film. I know writers don't have say in anything in terms of what's actually filmed, but I'm like, come on. They are still fully clothed under the sheets. Keisha goes upstairs to find them, and that you can see like under the sheets, like bodies rolling around, and she thinks it's them having sex with Tamara, and she pulls the sheets off, and it's Sean and Patrick still fully clothed. They haven't even taken a shirt off. They haven't taken a shoe off. I'm like, come on, give us something.
And they could be doing anything. That's my thing. They could just be two drunk guys with their thumbs up each other's ass. I don't know, with their clothes on. They're not even, and they look to her when she walks in and she's shocked, and then they kind of go back to, I guess, making out, but there's literally no sexual chemistry between them.
It's all you can totally
it's
tell.
Like no homo.
This is my perspective. Exactly. I was going to say, and I don't know the director. Sorry, director, if you're listening, but I feel like the director was like, yeah, we're not going to show. I'm uncomfortable. You guys are probably uncomfortable, so just like pretend that you're kissing for a bit. You don't want to show it. Just get really close to each other's faces, bro. I know, bro. Just do it, bro. Get under the sheets, bro. And I can just see that's how that.
We're gonna do one take. But I will say, in between 2005 and now, there has been quite a lot of evolution within queer media. And can you imagine if this scene would have been made in 2021?
Oh God, you get ass,
you get it
balls,
all.
you get everything.
A full penetration shot.
A full penetration.
What is the movie where Willem DaFoe, you just see his ball sack in slow motion?
Antichrist. Lars von Trier.
Yeah.
That was not his dick. Not his dick, I don't think.
I think they purposely cast the largest nut sack they could find.
Apparently his penis is actually quite large, but so large that it's distracting. So this is a rumor. I don't know if this is true. So I was told they brought in an adult film actor and kind of, is it possible to dub in the penis
Well, I mean, yeah, it's literally just a nut sack and taint shot. So yes, that's possible. And yes, we're getting it carried away. But you know what I'm going to say? Willem DaFoe does give big dick energy. And if anyone in Hollywood, I think, has a huge dick, it should be Willem DaFoe. He deserves it. What a talent.
Enormous. A face like a crater. A nightmare to look at. But everything else.
Yeah, he is not the most attractive.
Yeah, and kind of eerie and kind of definitely creepy. But I would definitely still make sweet love to him and get on a podcast and talk about it with everyone.
But I was very disappointed with this sex scene. I wanted a lot more, but I was whatever. So Keisha goes up and finds them, and Tamara immediately gets her and starts playing on her insecurities, which is her body image. Apparently, Keisha is like bulimic.
Yeah.
So she makes her puke, and she's like puking all this like chunky stuff up. I don't know what it was supposed to be.
I thought at one point did she just puke up teeth? Did it have baby? Like, is she? I thought she was going to have her puke up so much stuff that it was like, I don't know, uterine lining and part of a lung, and I didn't know how far they were going to go with this body horror sequence.
They do an above shot over top Keisha when she's vomiting, and you do see that first of all, she throws up like bile twice, and then she throws up blood, and when she throws up the blood and you see it from above, it looks like she's throwing up literally like blood and shit. Like, it looks like the chunks coming out of her almost look like, I thought, shit. Or like, it's pretty, I mean, it looks repulsive. It is repulsive. And then of course it cuts back and it is just a hallucination because she is toying with everybody.
It's a hallucination. And she tells her now you're really hungry, Keisha, go eat. So Keisha proceeds to go down to the smorgasbord that's in the kitchen.
And it's there.
She has access to fucking full deli sandwiches, lunch meats, cheeses. Yes,
but what doesn't work, and first of all, I do feel like the smorgasbord is actually the spread they had for the extras, because it does look like a film spread, like a film shoot. But she's like, yes, I'm starving, and then she sprints downstairs and she immediately starts eating a full barrage of health foods. She's eating apples, carrots, broccoli and dip. Everything she's eating, it's like, yes, I can see, like, if you're hungry, like, I would want to see her eating like an entire rotisserie chicken. Like,
exactly. I want the chicken. I want it like Richard, Henry VIII.
There is the scene where when Chloe knows something's up and like dragging her out of the house, and she has like a sandwich hanging out of her mouth and like one in her hand. And she's
voracious.
Yeah, she's hungry.
Yeah. We've all been there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One stoned, one very belligerently stoned. So basically Chloe and Jesse at this point are like, oh shit. I mean, everyone knows, everyone within the group knows that Tamara is a dark entity at this point, but now they're realizing, oh fuck, she's got the ability to take control over people, as we've learned because the two men slept with each other. And so they immediately run to their car and get in the vehicle and take off, with Keisha in tow, eating a full hoagie.
And they stop and call, of all people, they call Mr. Natolly. I would think maybe the police would be a better option, or somebody, but it's their English teacher. I want to know how they have his phone number. She just has his phone number saved on her phone. Does he get
again? Because I think Mr. Natolly has had boundary issues with some of these students. I'm not saying I do not believe he's abused any of these students, but I believe he has had boundary issues. His wife is also the guidance counselor. She probably has boundary issues.
They're the cool teachers. They're the teachers that will go out to like a restaurant with them every once in a while.
No, if a student calls me and say, "Hey, can you come pick me up?" I'm like, "No, sorry."
Well, Troy, you're not a cool teacher. I'm sorry.
but somehow they call Mr. Natolly. Like I said, I was like thinking, okay, of all the people to call, you're calling your teacher. He shows up, and Chloe somehow gets a phone. Oh no. What does she do? No. Keisha gets a phone and she calls. Yeah. She's calling her boyfriend, Sean, and Tamara answers the phone and she's like, "Oh, Sean can't come to the phone right now because he's fucking Patrick." And this is when Keisha tells Tamara that they called Mr. Natolly and he's on his way. And so Chloe finds out that she's on the phone and they get in an altercation and Chloe knocks Keisha out and Mr. Natolly shows
the first real good decision though that's been made is when Chloe is like, hey, come here, I've got a plan.
Yeah.
And Keisha like leans in and then she just like right hooks her to the jaw and knocks her the fuck out. I'm like, good bitch. Like finally stepping up to the plate as the lead girl that you are. Also to be acknowledged in the sequence, because Keisha is so hungry, she is literally nibbling off the tips of her fingers.
Oh, yes.
It's disgusting, which come back to play later. But yeah, it's super gross. And
they're like pointy at this point, like the entire fingers, because they've been nibbled off, or like at a point, as if it's you're wearing like a long nail, but the nail is flesh,
like a talon. It's like a talon.
Yes, a talon. That's good. Yeah. It's rough.
And so Bill arrives, Mr. Natolly. Bill arrives on the scene, and he's again pretty quickly convinced of the plot developments. People keep the story moving in this film. Not a lot of debating, not a lot of arguing, and not a lot of questioning.
And they seem to have, there seems to be this, and I've seen this in other movies, this like magic piece of a puzzle that they just tell them and everything else comes to place. Oh, well, now I understand completely what she's doing. She's doing this exact spell and this sequence, and this must have been what happened. It's like, I feel like this would take much longer. I understand that they have a torn sheet from the Grimoire, but are any of these people well-versed in the occult, in anything having to do with spellcraft, in anything having to do with candle work? No, they are not. So it's one of those things, and it drives me crazy in horror movies and all movies when it's like, we all magically get it now. And we just have to push through this and with very little explanation so we can forward to the next scene. Do you know what I mean? It's a little...
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying, because like the very next scene, Natolly, Chloe, Jesse go into Tamara's house. They just like break in, they just walk right in. And they're like, oh, and they find the dad dead at the refrigerator. So the dad did actually go downstairs and helped himself to the beer bottles that were in the refrigerator
and
ate them.
Glass eating, like he eats the glass, and the sequence is literally, I'm convinced, nothing more than like fake scab. The fake scab that we use with like in like low budget indie films, and like broken fake glass, and like that's it. But it's that's all it really needs. It's actually kind of gross. It's pretty effective because it's pretty visceral.
Everything in this movie is pretty visceral, except that disappointing gay lovemaking scene,
which should have been the most visceral out of
that. Was just damn boring.
Because there wasn't even spit as far as I was concerned.
Nothing.
Going in dry.
There was nothing.
Going in dry. And that's visceral. So yeah, they find the father. The glass scene is pretty nasty. And then there's this whole sequence where they go into her room and they have like a scene. The effect that they use, they literally had to get this like right from like the Charmed or Buffy. Like they reattach the page. Teresa, we've seen this like a million times before.
It's been done. This has been something that has magically happened in Sabrina, like the newer Sabrina. Probably the newer Sabrina with Kieran Shipka on Netflix, but also on the older Sabrina with Melissa Joan Hart. But there's a magical reattachment of a page and a blah, 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 and like, pages move.
The puzzle puts itself together.
Yeah, everything,
And then they automatically can understand what it means. They're like, oh, well, this means that she's bound to you, Natolly. And she had to spill blood. And when we killed her, that's how she spilled the blood. And now she's bound to Natolly forever until we can break the spell. In the meantime, Tamara has decided she's done fucking around, that she's getting some Natolly dick one way or the other. And so what she does is she gets Patrick and Sean to go and kill. She sends them on a mission to go kill Miss Natolly. Yeah, you like the Terminator. It's literally Sarah Connor, except it's Miss Natolly.
And instead of Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's two awkward, bubbling, meaty white men who just had gay sex. So the threatening element is definitely like downplayed because they like still reek of each other's buttholes. And they're coming for this woman who honestly proves to be the most capable and competent person in the movie.
Absolutely. Somehow.
Mrs. Natolly, like they are part of a mafia, and Mrs. Natolly is the muscle.
She fucks them up. I mean, they don't even get any. And it's 2 against 1. It's 2 literally. These are supposed to be like football, like the star football
steroid
football
players.
They can, yes, and they can't even catch this little 5-foot housewife. They're chasing her around. She's beating the shit out of them with everything she can get her hands on. Then the one does get her. She runs in the basement. Not a smart choice, but I guess where else is she gonna go? And he does get his hand around her neck and starts choking her. But she's able to get a screwdriver and stabs him in the side of the neck with it. That's Patrick. And it's kind of gross because he pulls it out and blood just starts gushing out. And I love scenes like this when there's like 2 killers and it's just so convenient. Like when one's attacking their would-be victim that the other one's nowhere to be found, even though he was like just chasing her. So she has time to like kill him and like the other one's just magically gone. He went back upstairs or something. So he's dead. And then Sean comes back downstairs and attacks her in the most awkward way. He's not even threatening. What does he even have? He has a knife and he's like, coming at her. And she picks up a shovel and this bitch breaks the end of the shovel off and shoves it into his back.
She's a badass bitch.
Yeah, it's a real dark, twisted Home Alone fantasy. It had all the elements of things that Macaulay Culkin had. There was a shovel. All of it, but just not. We just weren't really laughing. But I was kind of laughing.
But I wanted these 2 characters deserve the worst deaths. They did, and they deserve not to be taken out by Miss Natolly. I mean, come on.
Well, her character really like is just secondary until you get to this point. So it's not like you've got this moment of like, huzzah, Miss Natolly. You're kind of like, oh, her again, and you're like, oh wait, and then you're like, oh, she's fucking shit up. It's actually kind of uncomfortable because like she's a school counselor and then she snaps. But you know what? I am convinced she has barren rage.
She does.
And that's what carries her anger because she's going through this whole thing with not being able to have a child. She's very, very miserable about it, understandably so. And then these 2 motherfuckers come into her house. I think not.
I just think from a screenwriting perspective, it's just a very interesting choice to have the 2 worst characters in the film, outside of Tamara's dad, obviously, but 2 characters that are equally as bad as, these guys have been raping freshman girls and drugging them for what seems like years now, even to the point where there was even a comment when they're at the hotel towards the beginning of the movie that Sean's like, well, I'm surprised he doesn't have a VIP key waiting for him as many times as he's brought freshmen here. So obviously this is how they go. Like, it's just such a cop out, or not even a cop out. It's just,
it's very sloppy, baby. It's very sloppy baby. Like, just throw we'll get rid of these 2 in this manner so we can really highlight the importance of this, which is this binding love spell, which again, this is a movie oftentimes that does not know what it wants to be. As Troy said, is this about this spell binding or is this about revenge? What is this about? Tamara doesn't even know what it's about.
Because Tamara seems to want revenge, but she's not doing it herself. She's more, so we're leading off from this scene to the scene at the hospital. Now they're at the hospital. Miss Natolly's at the hospital now. They drop Keisha off because obviously she's bitten her fingers off. Tamara shows up at the hospital, it's just ridiculous. Gets a hold of Keisha And all of a sudden, this is what I'm saying. This is when Keisha, this little 4'6" girl, turns into the fucking Terminator. She has like scalpels that she's waving around like they're nunchucks.
She's like a ninja. She's a fucking ninja.
She is literally like a ninja. She becomes a ninja because what's her name in Jesse? Chloe and Jesse like go to get on an elevator, and all of a sudden she jumps out of the elevator and starts with this fucking scalpel, chase them down.
But the power of Tamara compels her, correct?
It does, yes.
Point?
I'm assuming
so.
This is the power of Tamara. This is not just Keisha letting loose.
Keisha decides that she's like...
I would prefer that it was Keisha letting loose. She's like... Keisha's line is, "I'm not a chicken."
It's a different tone.
She is like, I'm going all out.
There's the moment where she's laying in the bed and she just like opens up her eyes and like sits the fuck up, and you can tell she's like under the possession. But like, I think one thing, and this is the Keisha moment, is building up to becoming what it is. One area that this movie fumbles is you start off very much sympathizing for Tamara. You start off wanting Tamara to be the character who sees some sort of happy ending, I suppose, because I mean, she is abused. She's not a bad character by any means. She's just sad, and that's all she's really got is sadness. And then at this point, with what you were saying earlier about the whole sequence with the two male students and the teacher fighting in the basement, and now this with Keisha becoming like another pawn, is this movie loses track of the fact that Tamara is a sympathetic character and completely leans into her solely being a villainess. And that is where this movie, within this kind of genre breakdown of where it falls with the Carries and all the other movies about the female empowerment and everything. And Carrie, from beginning to end, was a sympathetic character. Tamara loses that because she becomes a selfish character, and that kind of sucks. I don't necessarily want that. I want Tamara to have a reason for us to root for her. And by the end of it, you lose all of the characters who would be the real villains because they become disposable. And they just lean really hard into this Tamara being the bad guy. And I didn't think that was the intention to start off with. I think they made a fumble there.
Yeah, I would agree. Maybe that's what bothered me about this movie. Not only that, but like I said, it really takes a shift in its approach or its tone, even at some point in the film, when it becomes this whole quest to make these villains, the true villains of the films, her pawns to do her work, which ultimately now we find out is to get the love of Mr. Natolly and make him hers for the rest of their lives, which is just ridiculous. I mean, that's all I can say. And Keisha, now she attacks Jesse and Chloe for some reason. She's chasing them around. She actually catches Chloe and like beats the shit out of her, like viciously beats the shit out of her, like knocks her out. And then she gets a hold of Jesse and like fights him with this giant like cake pan and like swinging it around like it's, but she hits him in the head with it. And this is actually a really brutal scene. Like she takes his and she's trying to put his head into a deep fryer.
That is surprisingly turned on, although the kitchen is not.
Yeah, well, it's on because he knocks some French fries into it and they start like sizzling. And as she's pushing his head into it, she takes a knife and just like starts stabbing him upward into the gut. It's really brutal. And
it is.
Here's another character that is super sympathetic, at least of that group. Like Jesse really didn't. He was like Roger, wrong place, wrong time. Yeah, he went along with it, but he didn't do anything that was like vicious towards her. He had no ill will towards her. And again, he gets one of the more brutal death scenes because he does die. Chloe does come and hit Tamara with a giant like 5-foot meat tenderizer, and they run out in the hallway and he collapses and he like basically dies in front of her. And it's kind of sad because I like Jesse. I'm like, this dude didn't deserve that. Like,
yeah. I have a lot of opinions about this whole sequence that leads into the finale. Everything starting from when Keisha does sit up and clearly like under the influence of Tamara. But going into this like fight sequence where clearly she's now one of her minions and everything. And first thought is that the actress playing Keisha definitely shines when she is not delivering dialogue. I think that I think she's best mute, but she must be like one of those ninja warriors from that like American Gladiators or something. Cause she's so tiny, but God, she's fierce. And she is.
You know what I was thinking real quick about this, Roger? I thought like Jenna Dewan, and I would have to do some more research on this, which I should have done. Apologies. I'm thinking Keisha may have had some dance background.
Oh, absolutely.
Not that that's just because she's very I could see her as a contemporary dancer.
I mean, well, that hat plays into it too.
Well, that would definitely be going more into an R&B type vibe, more of a hip hop look. But I definitely could see her very much as a contestant on So You Think You Can Dance.
Yeah, or Bring It On 3, Keisha versus...
I would not, or any part of the Step Up franchise after Jenna Dewan.
Oh yeah, Step Up, not Bring It On.
Because that is the size girl that they really seem to love around that time period. They seem to love these miniature dancers, I call them. Not super tall dancers, ones that would really get cast in things, but these shrunken little
compact
nudely armed dancers. Yes.
Yeah, and she moves very fluidly. The whole fight sequence is it's a pretty good sequence. It's just a bummer because I do think that character of Jesse is probably the most likable male aside from Bill. You know, the teacher is pretty endearing for what he is in this thinly written script, but Jesse's death it really is. Yeah, it's just like a kind of a sour moment. It's not even Tamara executing it. It's Keisha. And the way it goes down with like the whole like stabbing him brutally and then she gets knocked out. She doesn't even get killed, you know, and then they're in a hospital. So like no one's even asking for help in this hospital. I'm very confused by how it all happens. And he just dies. She just kind of like, Chloe just kind of sits over him and watches him die. And it's just kind of like, womp, womp.
Yeah, he dies in a hospital, and nobody is working in this hospital apparently, because he's literally in the middle of the hallway. There's no doctors. There's nothing, nobody around, which plays into the fact that, okay, so after Jesse dies, which again is very sad. I didn't like that part. It cuts to the Natollys, Mr. and Mrs. Natolly. They are running to the roof.
So I want to refer to her only as Mama Natolly from now on, because she's shed blood at this point. She's a godmother.
She sounds like she has her own bolognese sauce. Mama Natolly. There's nothing about her. First off, neither one of these individuals are screaming Italian to me. Speaking as a little mini guinea myself, I'm allowed to say that. As an Italian American lady, none of them. The Natollys are the whitest, waspiest people I've ever seen in my fucking life. But proceed.
They're not at all Italian. You're right. And Troy, I'm sorry I stepped on you, but God, that woman, she's shed blood at this point. She is officially a godmother. She's an Italian godmother. She's on the list.
She is on the list. But yeah, they go to the roof. And again, it just boggles my mind that of all the places you can run in a hospital, you're going to run to the roof where you're going to be trapped. The hospital is full of these red flashing exit signs that lead to the way out. But they go to the roof. And of course, Tamara follows with her. Now she has a cop that's a minion now that she's.
And let's take a second to talk about the pursuit. When Tamara is pursuing, it is the sexiest pursuit. Like it can't be even. It's not even remotely scary because she's catwalking.
It's a strut. Like it's a aggressive strut. It's very Step Up if you've seen it, because she does a mixture of. She does a lot of cool ass strut into a balance into jeté, like a beautiful balletic move. Into strut, sexy with Channing, sexy. So I feel like that was,
Yeah. Well, Tamara gets her cop to shoot Mrs. Natolly. But before he can follow through with that, Chloe is now pissed because she just saw her boyfriend die in the hallway, and she got a fire axe and she whacks Tamara in the head with this fire axe. And of course, it does nothing except the wound like gets put back together and that kind of weird CGI works.
Of course it does. What does the spell not encompass? Like the spell that Tamara cast, I mean, I thought the spell was simply to ensure that the man of her dreams falls in love with her. But I mean, honestly, this spell just covers everything. It covers everything and then some. You can't kill her. She takes people over.
You get a new wardrobe. You get your hair done. You get your makeup done.
Don't get me started on that wardrobe again. We could go for 3 more hours.
But anyway, so then Tamara touches Chloe, and actually she realizes then by touching Chloe, she can see that Chloe really was trying to help her. All this time, Chloe was not a vindictive, vicious bitch like the rest of them. And she promptly starts to decompose. For some reason, she totally decomposes. It's a CGI overload effect where she literally turns into a rotted human being, which I have a question about because the span of this movie has only been 2 days?
If that.
So she would not be a completely decomposed blob. And then what point does it serve? Because like she decomposes for like 30 seconds and then all of a sudden turns right back to Tamara and she's like, oh, I got to be with you, Mr. Natolly. This is never going to end.
Well, if anything, go ahead, Theresa.
I just have a quick question. And as 2 individuals, we got a director here. We have 2 people who are very acquainted with doing film work. And, you got to get the monies. So I'm thinking the people that had the money, the backers, the funders, and what have you, to fund the director's vision of this movie. If they told them, listen, we need this much CGI, this many scares, this many visceral sounds, this many, like, it's like, we don't care how you do it, but we got to have this stuff included in there because we want the most I almost think these backers as we want the most for our bang. We want the most bang for our buck, regardless of if it makes sense or not. Because I have heard that happening so often when people are making a film and how their vision gets sucked out by these other people that are demanding this silliness, essentially, that does not help with the story.
Right. And one thing that I think acknowledge with that and stepping back and looking at what this title is and the kind of film you'd expect when you look at the cover of Tamara, a sexy Jenna Dewan holding an axe in a schoolgirl skirt. This movie does not have any female nudity. This movie, it has some hot makeout scenes and stuff, but this movie is honestly pretty tame altogether. So I would not be shocked if this was something where they were like, oh, we're going to go PG-13 with the TNA. Okay, well then you better amp up the gore and the violence. Because if you're not going to give us tits and ass for a movie like Tamara, which is all about a girl strutting around a high school in a mini skirt, then you better follow through on the violence aspect, which honestly, the kills, I would say, outweigh the rest of the film. The only real strong moments are really the kills. The rest of it, the story itself is thin. And I think this point that you just mentioned, Troy, honestly, is just another example of the story fumbling and really missing the core of what Tamara really, at the end of the day, should have been or was trying to be. Is it makes Tamara again so unlikable. She has a moment where this character could totally have had a moment of coming back to her humanity and realizing what she's done and, I don't know, sacrificed herself for Bill or whatever, some moment to make Tamara not redeem herself, but the audience maintain that sympathy that they really established for her in the beginning. And instead they just throw it away and are like, all right, let's have another one big final shock moment for the sake of it.
Well, and we're getting to that because this ending makes absolutely zero sense. It comes out of nowhere because you have a character throughout the film who gives no indication that he would do something like this. Like there's nothing in his persona that's portrayed in the film where we would think, okay, this is what's going to happen. He's going to do this. But what he does is he, once Tamara says, I have to be with you, Bill, he actually like, okay, he goes over and kisses her. And then what's he do? He
fucking
proceeds
kills himself.
Kills himself. He throws her and him off of the hospital roof to their deaths. And I was like, what the fuck? This guy had no indication that he was suicidal. At least put up a fight. At least be like, hey, you know what? We have that book. Maybe we should go look in the book and see if there's a spell that can undo this love spell before I throw myself off a fucking roof.
It is impromptu. It is out of nowhere.
Unless he just wanted to be away unless he just wanted to get away from his
Mama,
wife.
This might sound really ludicrous, but my thought is possibly maybe while it seems crazy that he would jump off the roof, maybe there are some insurmountable problems with him and his wife Alice, and that we just simply don't know about. Maybe this is his way out. Maybe he really is in love with Tamara. I don't know. It makes again, there is no hesitation. He does give a look. He gives a look of longing or knowing to Allison before he does it. But I doubt she's thinking, okay, my husband and love of my life is going to take out this teenage witch girl by doing some type of dual suicide situation. I mean,
like that look really, that sends a loaded message. That look he gives her, that lone glance. Like I would, if I saw that, I'd be like, yeah, punch her. Like I don't know something,
right.
But that, I wouldn't think that translates to suicide.
No.
He's really going on a limb.
No, well, he leaves. I mean, he leaves his poor barren wife with who now? She has
Chloe.
fucking what's her name? Chloe. I mean, it's gonna be Chloe and fucking Mrs. Natolly.
Well, yeah.
Give me that buddy comedy. Give me that buddy comedy. Those two on the road.
It's not like Chloe's
getting
going.
revenge.
Yeah, well, Chloe's not going. Chloe is traumatized. I'm sure she's going to be homeschooled for the rest of the year. Miss Natolly has killed 2 students. And her defense is there was nothing behind their eyes. I mean, she's killed 2 students. No one is the possession and compulsion per witchcraft is not going to be a good enough excuse for the local police.
No, that bitch is
going to prison.
No, I mean, they were in her house. What self-defense? They were in her house, but I do not think she's going back to being a school counselor. If anything, she, in turn, will be the one receiving counseling. I mean, she was already struggling with the barren aspect, and that seemed to be causing a rift in the marriage to begin with. Failed third time. I'm sure they were already struggling with her issues. Now you bring in this teenage witch who apparently will have it no other way. I mean, what are you really going to do other than kill yourself? But Mama Natolly, I think she's got I think when the cops find the bodies of these young men in her home, wielding weapons, I think she's got a good alibi. Oh, she's got a good She's got a good reason for defending herself. She was taken by surprise. It's not a lie.
I do think it's gonna be an ugly trial though, because those parents are gonna be awful. And it's going to be all over Dateline. It's going to be on 2020. It's going to be like
Nancy
Grace. It'd be like, listen, y'all. This woman says that these 2 teenage boys that she supposedly wasn't sleeping with attacked her. Do I believe it?
I have 2 sons.
My twins. On the life of my twins, my babies. I do not believe her.
I can't wait. Give me that sequel. Give me that one.
Yeah, we need it. Well, and the film sets itself up for a sequel that never happened, because after everyone's dead except Natolly and Chloe, there's a random shot of a hand that has bloody toilet paper hanging off the fingertips, grabbing the book of spells and taking it. And then the film ends. And we know who the fingers are because only one person has bloody fingertips. So it's what's her name?
She was eating her fingers earlier. Only one person in this film was nibbling on her fingers. It's that Keisha.
And it's Keisha.
But what do we think this ending implies? Because it can imply a few things. We can imply somehow, some way, Tamara is in Keisha, which I don't know about that. That seems like going out on a limb. It could also imply B, that Keisha is intending on taking up witchcraft and now starting her own maybe coven. Theresa, what do you know more about witchery than either of us? What are you thinking with this?
Well, again, part of me, if this was, I don't know, edited and directed better, would have enjoyed the idea of some type of soul transference. But Keisha was nowhere in the proximity for which soul transference to occur.
She was in the kitchen by the fryer.
So I guess we're supposed to assume Keisha has the compulsion out of her, but she still feels empty. She feels kind of like a pre-empowered Tamara. So perhaps she's like, well, Tamara seemed to get what she wanted with this grimoire. I guess it's now my turn. Maybe I can find a spell that will give me back my fingertips. Maybe that's A. Maybe that's A. I don't know what type of plastic surgery is out there to rejuvenate fingertips, which have been eaten to a point. If anybody out there listens to this podcast with this type of knowledge, please allow Troy and Roger to know, because I'm at a loss. I love plastic surgery, but I have never heard of one to fix that.
Eating fingertips. Well, I mean, if you've seen the human Ken doll, now the human Barbie, anything can happen. So, and hoping for her, if there's no plastic surgery, at least maybe there's a spell, and maybe that's why she was moved to grab that book to begin with. Either way, it's an absurd ending for an absurd movie.
Right.
It is
full of nonsense and sexploitation.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, Keisha should have had Band-Aids on her fingers, not toilet paper, because she was in a hospital.
Could have been gauze.
It looked like toilet paper to me. It was all like hanging off her. But she was in a hospital. They're putting toilet paper on her fingers. So maybe that explains there's nobody working at the hospital. There was nobody there to put anything on her fingertips. So she just wraps some toilet paper around it. But at the end of the day, absurd ending for an absurd movie. I don't know that I would necessarily want to watch this movie again anytime soon. It's not that it's not entertaining. It's very entertaining. It's just, it does a lot of things right, but it does more things wrong. And at the end, it just didn't deliver what I was expecting. And maybe that's on me, but I just did not find the whole idea of this teenage witch making her enemies her minions to get the guy that she's in love with to fall in love with her. I just did not find that very interesting. So to me, I mean, the film starts pretty strong but it goes downhill pretty quickly for me.
Yeah, it's got sparks and moments, but overall it's definitely not anything that's going to be going down in the record books as one of the more defining films of the era.
Yeah. No, not at all. I mean, it's a product of its time period, which is the mid 2000s, and everything, costuming. I mean, plot device. It's very hair. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the film, Theresa? Since you're our guest, what are your thoughts?
I love it because I love to see Jenna Dewan as a villain. I would like to see her in more roles as a villain. I think she's very boring as the sweet girl. She just fades into, but I think she jumps off the screen as, as kind of a vicious type of person. I did like some of the themes, but I wish they would have picked one. So it's like, if we're going to have an allegory about child abuse, let's really let's really move, lean hard into that and see how she manifests her powers to deal with that issue. Or if we're going to have, is this really something about latent homosexuality? You got a gay writer on here, but then you have two guys fully clothed, maybe Eskimo kissing each other. You know what I mean? It's there's so much potential. You watch it and you're so much potential, but there's also so many tropes. So I feel a mixed bag of emotions.
Yeah, it has a lot of themes that you're right. It takes everything in the kitchen sink and it just kind of throws it out on the table, and because of that, it everything is thinned out. Instead of having one core message or theme or concept that they're really targeting, like you said, with the child abuse or bullying or whatever it is, instead of having one focus, it just kind of tries to touch on everything. And because of that, instead of having one strong film with depth to it, it instead gives you a paper thin film with thinner characters and thinner experiences, and it loses something because of that. Yes, it's a fun popcorn flick. It's fun to watch. It has some really cool kills. But at the end of the day, I mean, we've seen it all before. And I do think there are other movies that have gone on to do similar things to this better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And that's Tamara.
Tamara.
So for all of its flaws, warts and all, that is Tamara. And we watched it, and it was a thing. And I'm sure somehow, some way, she'll come back to haunt us again in the future somehow. But with that being said, you know what, Theresa, I felt like this was the right title for you, mostly because Jenna Dewan and because of the wardrobe choices. And I hope those resonated with you.
It did. I want to thank you and Troy for having me on to speak of Miss Jenna Dewan, no longer Tatum, and this captivating, albeit flawed movie, Tamara, which I always wanted to see, and I was able to. So thank you very much. For any of your audience who is interested, please consider listening to the Pop Culture Persephone. Comes out every Tuesday on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can even visit popculturepersephone.com, which I have all of my episodes listed, plus a lot of extra visual information. So it is a good time, and Mr. Roger Connors has been a frequent collaborator and guest.
Thank you.
We have a good time. They are my most highly rated episodes when Roger guest stars.
Thank you.
So.
Thank you. And I do encourage listeners to listen to Theresa because she does touch on quite a good amount of queer culture and queer relevant topics. And I know we get a big gay following, and let me tell you, this dame has it all. So, and Theresa, thank you so much for diving into this 2005 time capsule with us. And any other social media handles you want them to know about, Instagram or Twitter or any of these things?
Yes, on Instagram, I'm at Pop Culture Persephone. So you can follow me there, and that is probably the best place to get all of my previews for upcoming episodes. And I do have a Twitter, but I am hardly ever on it. I can only handle so much. It's not the best vehicle, as they say, for what I do. So I stay with my Insta.
I hear you, sister. Loud and clear. But again, thank you so much for joining us. This was a really fun one. The tangents alone. I think that
thank you.
The gays are going to be pleased. But Troy, I can only fathom what you are even having in store for us next episode. After this, how are you possibly going to follow up Tamara?
You know, it's tough. But I think I found the perfect follow-up to Tamara. And I'm just going to put it out there. It is the classic trauma film. Because you know so many trauma films are classic, right? The Toxic Avenger.
Love it. I fucking love it. And
Very
Theresa,
good. That's exciting.
Theresa, you may know this. Have you heard who they are talking about? You know they're remaking The Toxic Avenger with a big budget. Have you heard about who is in the talks to play the Toxic Avenger?
I cannot believe this, but I have not. I'm going to guess, and I'm going to be wrong, but I'm going to throw it out there, and I'm going to say Jake Gyllenhaal, but it's not.
You're going to
right.
love this. Peter Dinklage.
Really?
Yes. You know, he used to, he's a classically trained actor, and I think that he could knock it out of the fucking park. He's such like a serious, dramatic actor.
He's a ham-bound. He's got great comedic timing.
Have you seen his SNL? His SNL skits were hilarious.
That's pretty excited. I'm a fan of Mr. Dinklage.
Yeah.
Gonna watch him in anything he does.
I'm all for it, and I'm excited because I know Lloyd Kaufman is attached, so I'm sure it's something that will have the same pizzazz as the original. But Troy, what a good choice!
I'm excited about that one
awesome.
for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure the fans will be excited too. So until that episode drops, guys, please keep in mind, give us some love, give us some likes on all of our posts, on all of our episodes, on all of our platforms, especially on that goddamn Apple Podcast. God, we're aiming for double digits with the love. Just give us one more like. We'll be hitting 10.
For sure.
The desperation is pathetic. Just end our plea. But honestly, guys, thank you for the support. And please support Theresa just like you support us. The Pop Culture Persephone. Thank you so much for joining us, Pop Culture Persephone. You heard our prayer.
Yes.
And we
awesome
appreciate
you.
you.
Awesome having you.
Thank you. You guys are awesome. This was so much fun.
Woo-hoo.
Dark Night of the Podcast, Pop Culture Persephone,
Exactly.
Collaboration. There will be more.
There will.
All
I hope so.
Until next time when we talk about the Toxic Avenger, we will see ya.